What's going on in the world today? People fighting, feuding, looting. It's okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your patience. Tonight just wasn't the night. It was difficult. However, we all came together, and here we are on a live stream dedicated to you. Yes, you. I'm looking at you. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Excuse me. We're not going to do like a super big, crazy long intro. I'm just going to go through, greet the channel members, and keep it moving. On the straight up, like the channel members are the like one thing that keeps this channel going. Thank you so much to all of y'all that are contributing your time, energy. The channel members, the mods, y'all are the real ones. I appreciate y'all so much. So huge shout out to all the channel members. And then also, don't forget about the mods. Show some love to the mods. Kurt 24, Mike McClune, the Goon, and all the other mods that are working super hard. I actually have a few more. So don't be offended if I didn't mention you, but let's be real. Like Kurt and Mike have dedicated like this is like a part-time job for them. And then Shauna and all the I love all the mods. You guys are awesome. Thank you. So let's go ahead and jump in. First this evening was Drew. What it do? Lifetime channel member. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. And also thank you for being first. So high five. And also we got Blue Curtain Burner in the building. What's up, brother? Another channel member. Appreciate you, my guy. We got Gutta Cheese, Gutta Cheese. Now, the dope thing about Gutta Cheese is that every now and then, me and Gutta Cheese will talk and he'll hit me up and be like, yo, working on this project or whatever. And let me click through all of these other pictures. Goodness gracious. Man, where did it get? I had it sitting right here. You know what? Maybe I have to share it with myself again. I wanted actually let me know. Gutta Cheese, are you cool? Are you cool with me showing it? Let me know in chat if you're cool with me showing it. Um boom. Okay, yeah, there we got it. Hey, yo, that thing is so fire. Mr. Fromage himself. If you're cool with me showing the picture that you showed, shoot a little chatty chat and let me know. But I want to show love to all the channel members. Yeah, there he goes. He says, "Yes, sir. Show that." All right, hold up. Boom, boom, boom. So every now and then we'll talk, and he hit me up and was like, "Yo, I want to inspire Rich because Rich is still working on that 3D printed Gatling gun." And Mr. Fromage himself, Mr. Good Cheese, sent me this picture. Yo, bro, this thing is pure fire. Like, this is look how immaculate the print job is on this, first off. Secondly, bro, I just I wanna mount it on something and drive around the city with it. Like, this is just glorious. You should be so proud of yourself, and it makes me so disappointed in Flying Rich. No, I'm kidding. Look, we've all had a lot going on lately, so I know Rich. He's like 98% done. So let's give Rich a little bit of inspiration to get it done. He's had to go through a lot recently as well. So anyway, Gutter Cheese, thank you for inspiring those in the squirting of the plastics, and also thank you for just reminding people every single day, all day, to forget to print a gun. For those of you that don't know, this is a 6-barrel 5.56 Gatling gun, totally lawful, and it also runs on 3D printed links. So, bro, it's like about $1,000, $1,200 if you're trying to throw money at the wall and see if it sticks. Build one of those. Anyway, let's get back to the channel members. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you. So we got Drew, we got Gutter Cheese, Zanty Misfit in the building. What's up, Zanty? Good to see you, my guy. Also a channel member. Let's see, that's Drew again. Gutter Cheese, Drewski, what a dooski. Let's see, that's Zanty. And JC Neener, what's up, brother? Also a channel member. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Z, great to see you, or as Flying Rich says, Zed. Thank you for hanging out as well. Agorizer, my guy, Mr. Aggie, coming in. Appreciate you, my guy. We got Mike McClune, the Goon, who not only is a mod, also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Chrissy Turtel from ATL. Well, I mean, she's not from ATL, but she's currently in Atlanta. So shout out to you. I know that because her words say that right there. So shout out to you, also a channel member. ZJC9, Zanti Misfit. Let's see who else we got. We got Aggie. Let me see. I'm just going through here. Z Agorizer. Hey, there he is, Mark Tucka. Well, here we go again. Hey, Dark, how about some stickers? Oh, you know what? That's right. I didn't. Had a lot going on over the last couple months, so my bad. You ordered something from the merch company, and the merch company doesn't go through me, so I didn't get to get you stickers, but I will. I will get them out to you. I promise. I'll take a note and I'll get them out. Senor Bob, great to see you, brother. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see. Gutta Cheese, Z's, Flyingrich Firearms, who's also a mod. Great to see you, brother. See Zanti, Mark Tucka, Senor Bob. Hey, Johnny Propane. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Also a channel member. Agorizer, Gutta Cheese, and all the honorable mentions. You know we love y'all. We appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. Hey, Man Against the Masses. Good to see you. Rip Curl, Damian Christ, Jin Champ, all the homies. I appreciate you guys hanging out. So, guys, man, something that has been like stirring up so much drama in the Trumposphere is this BJ talk. If you guys have been paying attention to the news and the media, you know that they've been talking about Trump with BJs all day. Now, the Trump BJs that we're referring to is the Trump Black Journalist event, and it's not going to be the whole stream tonight, but I wanted to focus on it. I wanted to go through it. You know, our streams can get long, and this is only 36 minutes, so I'm sure we'll be pausing and having a conversation. But man, I just think it's a good opportunity for us to jump in and talk about what the mainstream media wants you to think and feel and like. So, the BJs, it's the National Association of Black Journalists. So we're going to go through, and who better to do it with than the semi-permanent co-host, your boy Flyingrich, and the becoming way more common on the channel now. RedDawn, Readiness, aka RedDawn Republic. Those are actually two channels. So, welcome, Vince. Bless you.
What's going on?
That wasn't too bad. That was pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Compared to my typical intros, you know.
Being that we've been waiting hours
event.
to do this, we've been ready since Red Dawn and I been ready since 9 p.m.
I know you've been waiting for. So before we jump into it, gentlemen, if you would let all the lovely ladies out there know
He doesn't
who
own
you
any
are.
sleeves.
He doesn't own any sleeves. He does
Bro,
not.
you stream from your garage in the hottest state in the country with no air conditioning.
You know, it's funny because I don't know.
Some of us can afford air conditioning, you know, or a
I have
house.
air conditioner right behind me.
I think
in the house.
I think Frag Out actually don't you rock sleeveless stuff in your shop, Frag Out, or am I tripping?
But wait, Frag Out's got air conditioners, but it's still 90 degrees.
Yeah, they're like 32 feet up in the air. That's too funny.
Honestly, I suffer through. I have a fan. I have all kinds of stuff, but I don't like the background noise, so I rock it out.
Bro,
can we make an important announcement that just happened today?
I don't know.
Kamala Harris dropped out of the race.
Kamala Harris shows off her white family. I mean,
her Indian family.
Her white Jewish family.
Have you guys seen
her
that?
Her real name is Kamala.
No, like she for real is Indian. Have you seen that video where who's that Indian comedian chick who like sounds like a white chick? Yes. I can't remember her name, but
she's
they're
hilarious,
like,
though.
Yeah, she is funny. And they're making like an Indian dish, right? And she's with Kamala Harris, and she's like, "We are making," and Kamala's like, "Yes." She's like, "An Indian." She's like, "Yes." Dish, yes. because you're Indian. She's like, yes, right? Yes. It's like the most awkward interaction I've ever seen in my life. Kamala's just like this. Yes, yes, yes. And you drink the blood of newborn sorry. Uh excuse me. Yeah, so
Actorizer said
gentlemen.
Shiva
Mindy
the
is there.
Destroyer.
Mindy. Yeah, good old Mindy. Gentlemen, take a moment if you would and introduce
Vivek went
yourself.
ham on her.
And Vivek went ham on her. Oh, really? I haven't seen it. I just know that interaction was pure gold, and it's so like not important, right? It's just funny because it's like she is whatever she needs to be to achieve something, right? Because the first Indian dish she made right then with, her mother with a very, very, significant accent that came here from, whatever. She's Indian when she needs to be Indian. And then she's the first black man, it's interesting. I
Like
didn't
my
know.
boy
But wait,
Quavo
so
says,
what?
he don't walk it like he talk it.
I'm so sick of everybody being the first black fill in the blank. Bill Clinton was the first black president, and then Obama was the first black president. Well, Clinton wasn't black. Obama was half black.
Well,
Kamala is not even half black because
To
people.
tell you the truth, I wish we had a real black president,
honestly,
like a real one.
Herman Cain was 100% black.
It's
No
not
love.
even about race. They're making it about race, right? What we're talking about usually is, culturally, right?
Yeah.
What they're talking about specifically is race, right? And that's what's frustrating. And I know, some people may feel some type of way about some things that we say, but dude, we're always gonna do everything we can to be honest with everyone in here, right? And what I think is that everything that they're doing is pandering, and they are trying to.
Oh, absolutely.
They're milking votes out of people.
Just like I
make
pandered to the 50 BMG community,
If there is such a thing, yeah, absolutely. But like I just they're pandering to milk votes out of people to be like, we're just like you. I'm just like you. We're so similar. We have similar
I'm a
upbringing.
black woman just like you.
Yeah. So it's frustrating to me.
Caribbean black that owned
because,
slaves, but black nonetheless.
Sure. Yeah. Amistad was the name of her first car.
I'm pretty sure her father's like either half black or a quarter black, which would make her either a fourth or an eighth.
I think she is a quarter black from what I was told.
Did she work for
her father? Looks 100% Indian. He don't look like he has any black in him.
Yeah.
Did she have a brother that worked for Ladder with Crowder?
I was gonna make a quarter black Garrett joke, but
she's
honestly, and she's Asian. Maybe she could be related to Crowder's lawyer. Half Asian lawyer.
That's true.
I guess Indian is considered Asian, right?
Pacific Islander. I don't know. But this is the thing. Like it's frustrating because they're trying to.
Do you know Trump wasn't shot in the head, or there was no attempted assassination on Trump? That's just been memory hold.
That's what Google says.
Mm-hmm.
He might
too many
have
choices. What race is Judge Joe Brown then? Did you guys see the Judge Joe Brown on Kamala Harris, the whole interview thing? Did you too?
No. Did what? Sorry, I was reading that. Did what?
You guys missed when just like a day or two ago, Judge Joe Brown sat down and talked all about Kamala Harris.
No. Oh yeah, didn't he say that he tapped that and that he was like, it's basically mids?
He said worse stuff than that.
Dude, I literally just heard about that this morning. I'm super late on politicking and stuff, but man, I just feel bad because they're culturally what's the word? I know pandering is the word, but that's not even they're leeching.
It's called appeal to stupidity.
Yeah, and they're doing that to several different cultures, and they're doing their absolute best to continue the cycle in several different cultures. And it's sad. They're almost like road blocking certain people. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let's introduce yourselves, gentlemen, and then we'll we'll get it started. Flyingrich, let them know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
So
Hey, Tactical Turkey.
flyingrich.com. Yeah. Mr. Turkey, how are you, sir? So flyingrich.com is where all my social media. I'm very prolific at Flying Rich Firearms on YouTube, Flying Rich, and of course on Instagram, FlyingRich_official.
It's your
RedDawn,
boy
Dead
Red
On.
Dawn Readiness. Y'all know who I am. It's RedDawn Readiness in the house. Tactical
Sorry,
Turkeys,
guys.
good to see you in the chat.
I don't have a.
And you can always find Red Dawn Readiness at the gas pump at your local Costco.
Yep.
If you are gonna help me with something,
Yeah.
if
Only
not,
if.
I'm probably not at that gas pump.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be in Georgia, right? Georgia.
Possibly.
Yeah, in Georgia. Yeah.
It could be in Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Be
Yeah.
in Western
Little.
Philadelphia, where I was born and raised on the
Oh,
playground.
that's right. Where you spent what most
of my
your
days.
days? Yeah. I remember back then we used to chill out. Okay, sorry. Let me stop.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a couple of guys and we're up to no good. Tactical Turkeys, great to see you.
So I shot them all in the neighborhood.
I dumped one little mag and my mom got mad. She said, Gort, great to see you, my guy. Another channel member, great to see
now
you.
you're voting for Kamala Harris.
All right. Frag out, great to see you as well. Okay, let's jump into it. So, what do you guys know about this BJ incident? Before we actually go through the recording, what do you know about the National Association?
I know that they didn't
of
say hi to
BJs?
him. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the show. We appreciate
Like
you
all the
making
simps
effort.
do in Congress when they're interviewing,
Dude,
Democrats.
guys-
I'm sorry we were 30 minutes late. My apologies. We know that your schedule's very busy right now.
Have you seen where the recording begins?
Yes.
Okay, this was the craziest thing. I was like, I must have the wrong video, right? There must be another video where they say hello and exchange pleasantries and stuff, right?
Yep.
This is how it begins.
As journalists, we use opportunities like these.
She sounds
What?
mad right away, right?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it sounds like Candace Owens has a pissed off little sister that doesn't think like she does.
Hey, do you think she's voting blue with that outfit?
You know, I think she's making a statement with that. I think dang, you know what? I'll change my can you guys hear that okay and hear me okay? Or does it echo?
Yep. No, we heard it fine.
You sure? Okay, let me see. Let me know if you can hear it if I mute.
He did.
As journalists, we use opportunities like these both to inform our reporting, but also to help voters understand the choices that they face in a consequential and historic election year. NABJ has partnered with PolitiFact to fact check this conversation in real time. You can access that feed on social media.
Okay. Are we planning on fact checking the fact checking? Because I find that to be the most amusing part of all of this. And honestly, most of us could
fact
probably
check shows she was not nasty. She was not rude.
Yeah, the fact check shows metrics that can never be proven. Who did I just say? I just saw someone else come in here. I'll keep an eye on the chat and stuff, but I think what we should do is while we go through, we should actually fact check their fact checking. And I think that was a setup specifically towards him. Look, y'all know Missouri Survival. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Lady Smith, good to see you. I think it's pretty clear, and y'all know that I'm not like a Trumper or whatever you want to call it, like the whole MAGA thing. But of course, I voted for him every time that I could, and I'm going to vote for him again, provided that there is an election. I do think that we're going to end up in a situation where there is at least one more attempt on his life prior to, the next election. I think Flyingrich was totally correct in that assessment, and I think we're headed to some difficult times. But so we can kind of get away from the difficult dark times that we're in, I think we should find humor in what we're watching here, and also do some fact checking as well. So I digress. Anything else you guys want to say before we get it popping?
No, she just looks really upset already. That's all. She seems really like frustrated, like she owns a cat. She's a cat lady. But
Oh, she's got more than one. For sure, more than one. And I know she has more than one pantsuits in that exact color, for sure. Once you feel like something is your color, you get a few,
Wait, you mean
Using
like
the hash-
Elizabeth Warren wearing what is it, like
Smurfette dress?
tights and just a different fancy pastel colored jacket over
Rich,
her tights?
You cannot come up in here saying that name without me.
Happy Joe.
Oh, my bad.
I had the wrong thing queued up.
Oh, that's too
Hold
funny.
on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
Now
That's the
gonna be
first
asking
time
me-
I've ever seen her not wearing the black leotard and a pastel colored jacket.
There's a first time.
There
for,
is
everything.
there are no pictures on the internet of her in any other garments.
Yeah, I think what we need to focus on, since this is
Sorry.
the
You know me and derailing shit.
No, it's okay. I think
Fine,
it's
look what I
We
got.
already have a nigger.
Oh, sorry. Yucky. All right, let's oh God. I'm gonna go ahead and press play and shut up.
As journalists, we use opportunities like these both to inform our reporting, but also to help voters understand the choices that they face in a consequential and historic election year. NABJ has partnered with PolitiFact to fact check this conversation in real time. You can access that feed on social media using the hashtag NABJFactCheck. Again, the hashtag is NABJFactCheck. We have a lot to get to, and we do not want to waste any time. So let's bring out the former president of the United States, the Republican nominee for president, former President Donald Trump.
Yo.
The oldest, the coldest, the blondest.
The orangest.
Thank you.
That shit does kind of rock, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in
Really,
public
dude?
without a
Come on,
license?
come on. What are you doing? Ads? What is this?
You got a Colio No War ad? That's pretty cool.
What? Well, it's because they know I'm me, right? That's why.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was like, what? They're okay. Sorry, and culturally, doing the.
If
I guess-
Smurfette was a reporter, she would be wearing that pantsuit.
Absolutely, if she were. Good thing she's not.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time.
She
I want to
sounds very
start by
enthusiastic.
addressing
We
the elephant in the room,
appreciate-
sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some
Why?
of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not you to be here today.
Okay, that is probably the most disrespectful and terrible way to start a conversation. There are probably a lot of people that think you shouldn't even be here today, that you should even be welcome to
You
speak.
POS.
Dude, I mean, he knows that he's going in like in front of a firing squad, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like there's no like why would you just start off just like burning him right away?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Hey, Drew's night vision shipped. Hell yeah.
Honestly, because they can't talk actual policy. Every time he opens his mouth, he crushes everything they've done for the last 3.5 years. There was probably a couple hours ago a video that dropped, but like their whole plan is just to slander him. They don't have shit to add to any conversation of what they can do
Of
for
course,
anybody.
because that is what. Think about it. That is what has been the main focus of the news for nearly a decade, 8 years, right? Like, can we get like a "Get off my nuts" sticker made and have like Trump's like toupee on it or something? Like,
I need to get a patch for my kid that says Russia, Russia, Russia.
oh, that'd be dope.
Marsha,
Oh,
Marsha, Marsha.
you should get it in Cyrillic. Well, no, because then you couldn't read it. That'd be dope though. All right,
Faux
they're
Cyrillic.
bringing it back. And just like raise your hand or a finger or this finger or something if you want me to pause it.
You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists.
Look at him.
calling them
He's
a
just
loser,
like,
saying the
dude,
questions
I am
that
going
they
to
ask
eat
are,
you
quote, stupid
alive.
and racist. You
Dude, so here's an issue though, okay? And I know we're like 12 seconds in, so bear with me, y'all. The issue is that you can't say anything to anyone anymore. Just if you attack a person's character, if they say you can't attack their character, they're gay, they're
That's their
Black,
reality.
they're Hispanic, they identify as this. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Bro,
matter.
you'll see in this video the crowd was cheering for him a lot.
Yeah.
And also, I wish he would have just said, I did talk all that stuff about them. And that's a big sign to tell you that I don't discriminate because I talk a lot of shit about a lot of people who suck.
Yeah. Well, and he did look, he also dropped the ball a lot. He misspoke, and I know like I'm guessing that I know like where I think he was trying to go with certain things, but the problem is anyone and everyone misspeaks. I misspeak all the time on my live streams, but people also aren't like attacking me to use that against me constantly. I also have a tiny little platform and people make fun of it all the time, but it's cold. All right. It's cold outside. So, I mean, it's different. Like if he misspeaks, the most major news outlets in the world are going to run with it. So,
Oh, yeah.
there was some times where I was like, man, I wish like you could have added, removed, or changed one word and it would have hit completely different, And as
Yes.
those things happen, I'll point them out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth.
had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort.
What?
So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think
that's pretty gangster. I'm not gonna lie. Like
he's a mob boss.
First off, I want to address that you're rude as hell.
They're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the Black population of this country. I've done so much for the Black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for Black workers.
Let me just say something real quick. I'll ask a question rather. Is it offensive for you or me or anyone to say historically Black colleges and universities?
No.
Why is that not offensive?
That's what they are.
Because historically, Black people attend those colleges and universities, right? If something is, then the intention is not to be, divisive or negative or, saying something
Correct.
bad or slighting. When he brings up Black jobs, they jump on him and attack him like, oh, what's a black job, dude? What he was referring
It's
to was,
employment for people
I
that
loved his
are.
I loved his answer though. He's like, anybody who's working that has a job.
yeah, like it's
He's like, are you retarded?
I know, and you know, it's sad because it's like, bro, like really, but the other side of it is like, I feel like he kind of dropped the ball there too, because he's like, dude, I'm referring to something like, can we not say that we can look back historically at data and say these are
Right.
things that exist? These are patterns that are proven to be 100% accurate. Clearly, he's not trying to be offensive. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
Anyway,
mean, I think it's just a term like black jobs would be saying like black colleges. It's the same thing.
yeah,
It's like
it's the same
not
thing.
everyone at the college is black either.
Yeah.
Clearly, like I've known white people that have been to HBCUs,
HBCUs, yeah.
but
They're just
it just is what
typically
it is. Like
speaking, the like
That's first off, HBCUs a terminology, and as far as unemployment data or employment data, it's tracked on race also. So I was almost
Yeah,
going to
no,
say call a particular card what it is, but yeah,
so the too many choices. Expound upon that. I'd love to.
I mean, that's
To know what you're
basically what
thinking.
he's saying is like they're interpreting it when they try to attack him is like
Like,
black
oh, these are jobs created for
jobs
black
are
people.
like created for black people only. And it's
Yeah,
like
I think
he
all
just
right.
means jobs held by black people.
yeah,
To like
jobs that are historically held by, or like, you know, the data shows that, you know, people of color are usually in these types of roles, that kind of thing, right?
yeah, well, I mean, I think what Trump means is employment for this group of people, not N-word work.
What a great way to put it, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm a skilled linguist.
That was facetiousness. Now you meant INWARD, right? Like working inward, right? I'm just kidding. All right, let's go.
And black entrepreneurs done so much. And, you know, and I say this, historically, black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, you know, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer the
very
question on
nasty
your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have been
years.
the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President
That's
Johnson,
my
who signed the
answer.
Voting Rights
And
Act.
for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on
for
Capitol
sure.
Hill, have labeled Biden.
That's one of the things, like you can't hide hate and disdain like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can put on a smile. You can, you know, you can't hide it. You
But
know?
one thing I want to comment about Trump is he's always in the middle. He never like, yeah, you bitch, F you, I'll tell you, you stupid smurf pantsuit lady.
Yeah,
He's always like,
I can't lie. There would have been times during this interview where I would have been like,
who do you think you are?
Yeah, you're a fucking gun, bro. Somebody get me a new interviewer.
Yeah, dude, it's.
But you gotta realize it's how to play the game. A lot of this is like, hey man, I got to be cool through this.
But
let me turn it back on then.
You're bad and you're stinky and your equipment is stinky and you know, it's like it. He calls
Your
it.
suit smells like cat urine.
Oh man. All right, let's keep rolling.
Vice President Kamala Harris, who was the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket as
she's
a
not
DEI
Indian?
hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that
Go
what
ahead.
your definition?
That is
Give me a
literally the
definition
words.
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question.
you have
I just want to take a brief moment to recognize that we have a Black man in chat saying that Kamala is not Black with 2 LOL faces. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Thank you. Thank you.
Direct question.
Define it for me if you
I
would.
just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a Black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So
That's what Biden said.
I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly, very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was Black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn Black, and now she wants to be known as Black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she Black?
She has always
But you know
identified as
what?
a Black
I
woman. She
respect
went to
either
Black
one.
college.
I
No.
respect either one.
No,
but she
keep
obviously
pause.
doesn't, because she was Indian
there's
all the way. And then
Fact
all of a
check.
sudden,
go ahead.
Fact check.
She
Fact
swore in to the Senate when she got Senate as the first Indian senator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, she's wrong. You want to talk about live fact checking? Bullshit. Where's the kid in the baby seat? Bullshit.
Well,
Bullshit.
The
Well,
funny
I'm gonna
thing
tell you the truth. After seeing pictures of her parents, somebody's gonna need to show me a picture of this Black person that she's related to, because I don't think she has any Black in her at all. Zero.
Oh, she's had some
Yeah.
Black in her.
Oh, she's definitely had some Black in her, just not in the way that she's portraying.
And for the record, bro, it really wouldn't matter if this wasn't at a Black event or if whatever she is. We would be doing this if this was Hillary Clinton or if it was any freaking other person that just says dumb shit.
Yeah,
like people that say
absolutely.
dumb shit, it doesn't matter what color they are, where they come from. People
No.
dumb
If
shit.
only people you could be critical of are white people.
Yeah, white.
You can't be critical of anybody else. Only white people.
Yeah.
it seems that way currently.
Yeah.
For
Yep.
sure.
All right, let's go back to the Indians. Hang on.
and she made a turn and she became a Black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think
that she is
somebody should look into
Became.
that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile.
Say China.
nasty
Say
tone.
China.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I really
Republicans?
don't know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I
Biden
really
said
don't
so.
know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length, and we had a great interview.
Kimball, what's
I
up,
think,
bro?
and I heard you got very good ratings on that.
Well, you
interview.
told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean,
Oh,
it
she
is not
just
lost
stole the
on us how
interview.
divided we
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Okay. That
And-
for anyone that's done any public speaking, it's you looking for an opportunity to jump in and then taking the conversation, right? Like, oh yeah, I remember you said it was the longest one you've ever done. So I want to bring it back to why we're here today. Like, meaning, bitch in blue, you do not know what you are doing, and you cannot control this interviewee.
Trump was slick too. He opened the door to talking to her. He was like, "Let me
For
talk
sure.
to someone."
Mhm.
He's like, "I
Yeah.
know her down here, bro. I'm gonna chat with her."
Yeah. Notice how they put the most friendly interviewer as far the F away.
as possible. Yeah.
I didn't even know she was there. I had no idea. She's actually very good.
Yeah, check the zoom on the camera. That's how they do it.
As you were coming today, we really got to see that we are divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in
He
this
said,
moment where
"Yoink."
we are,
She just saved blue
why
pants.
come here? What is your message today?
This new app is revolutionizing.
What the fuck? Dark, pay for YouTube Premium. We've had this conversation.
No, and I'm about.
Dude,
to
I have YouTube Premium on my other account, but that's my personal account. I don't have it on my DLD After Dark account.
To stop people
Well, let
from
me bring it back a
invading our
little bit.
country.
This question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people
At the
that happen to be
National
taking black jobs.
Association of Black Journalists. Oh, that's funny. Let me just clear this up too. If anyone out there is watching YouTube ever, you're paying YouTube. So like I know people say no, don't pay YouTube. You know,
For sure. You're helping them.
watching YouTube, engaging with the
Actually, when
content.
you don't pay them, you're probably making them more on ads.
Yeah, probably much more. That's a compromise for them to get a quick turnover of cash as opposed to, the long game of ads because they pay once a month.
And you know what? I'm gonna call them out because I don't really care. I call everybody out.
By
Trump
them,
is an old white dude, y'all. And you know what? Do I wish we had young people in these positions? Yeah, I really do. But Trump is by far the best dude for the job right now.
based
I
on
do.
who we have as options, yes, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, even if you had a full pool of people that were young, Trump is good for the job. He's good for global politics, for foreign affairs. He's a fucking boss, and it's his time. It really is his time. Once Trump is gone, he picked a 39-year-old vice president who I'm not a big fan of. I wish he would have picked somebody else, but old white dudes say stupid shit. They've been saying dumb shit for a long time. Not that he's he's still Trump. He's sharp and he's smart and he's
Yeah.
Got a lot going for him, but he is an old white dude. He does slip up and say stupid shit sometimes too.
Tactical Muffin Top, thank you, brother. Have a good night. Appreciate you. And don't forget to comment tomorrow, Replay Mafia. Yeah, dude. I mean, look, it's a very different generation. It is a very different time from a very different, like, it is just night and day. And I remember growing up where I would like talk to the old heads, and all of them would always be talking about like, man, times are changing, things change so much back in my day, this and that. I'm like, psh, man, you guys, you just keep up with the times. Like, you don't get it right now.
We're
I'm
on our
looking
way to
forward.
being like that, right?
Bro, we're already up. We're sitting here having conversations like 3 times a week. Like, man, like times are changing. Strap up, prepare. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, hang tight.
You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a
All right,
job.
hang on. Let me bring
That's
this
what it
back
is.
a little
Anybody
bit so
that
we
has
can
a
get the
job.
whole
And this
thing.
are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr. President,
they're taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs. And frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from prisons, from jails. They're gang members in other countries. Other countries are setting loose their prisoners. They're opening up their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're taking their bad people, drug dealers, gang members. and they're bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down, and our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you address some of the issues with Black communities. And I say that plural because we live in communities of color that are different. We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same.
Sure.
It's not monolithic. So as you come here today, I want to talk about something.
Look how
that
the blue
bursts,
dress is
and
looking at
this
her.
is the weight.
Yeah, well, did you notice when she started looking at her like, bitch, was when she called him what?
President Trump?
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Ah.
I mean, I could run it back.
Yeah, run it back.
Bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down, and our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you address some of the
I want
issues
to cut
with
you off
Black
again.
communities. And I say that plural because we live in
What's that?
communities of color that are different. We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same.
Sure.
It's not monolithic. So as you come here today, I want to talk about something.
You can't see it exactly,
that
but it
bursts,
looked like
and
right
this
when
is
she
the
said
weight
that,
of the
when the
inflation
camera
on this
panned
country
out,
right
she was
now.
looking at her like, really?
She licked her lips.
Nonprofit Money
and
Management International
was
recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt.
Probably the most common question that I'm
Dude, come on.
in my country. You know, when they poll Americans, they find
They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit card. Now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen surges that they haven't seen since we were in a pandemic of people in financial trouble. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single Black moms, when you look statistically. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the Black community when it comes to money?
So, first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason because of the fact that they have bad equipment. Because I guess, you know, this woman was unable to get the right equipment.
So
But it's very
actually,
hard
a
to hear you.
funny thing. I was watching this and I was toggling between a few different videos, and one of the ones I was watching on was Crowder, right? And Crowder brought up a really good point, and he had said sometimes with sometimes with equipment, what happens is, like, when you get on a call and let's say, like, Rich, you and I get on a call and you're like, hello, and then 2 seconds later you hear your voice echo, hello. And there's there's a delay, and then there's an echo or whatever.
or they turned her ass down and turned blue dress volume up.
Ah.
It could be,
sure.
or maybe the range on the wireless mics is bad at that distance, or it could be, it could be a
Battery's
volume
going
thing.
dead.
Yeah, it could be a bunch of different things, but I don't think that he was intentional. I think, and this is another thing that I'm not usually like a Crowder enjoyer, but I watched it just for the purpose of getting information and then watching the fact checks of the fact checks and stuff like that. And I don't think he was really trying to dodge many questions as this goes on. I think that he was trying to answer things very generally, just in case they asked specific questions and he couldn't hear. But he was like, at one point he says, like, I think you asked something about JD Vance. So, and then he just kind of generally says something about JD Vance, about the VP pick not making as much of a difference on the presidential on like the polls and stuff, something like that. But anyway, I'll continue.
And hear every other word. It's very difficult, actually. But so I don't know if they can fix it or do something with it, but I'll do the best I can with it. The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually every class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. It's been devastating. And if you just take a look at,
I heard he did on accident.
Like interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people, young Black people, they don't have the American dream anymore. They can't buy a house. They can't borrow the money because of the cost of the money. They can't buy because of the cost of housing, because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country, and it's destroying the black community probably as much or
So what do
more
you do?
than any.
What's your plan?
You know what we have to do? We have to bring down the cost of energy, and that's going to bring down the cost of inflation. This was all started with a bad energy policy by Joe Biden. By the way, just if I might, I was running against a man named Biden. You probably saw that. And he was losing very badly in the polls. And then he had a rather bad debate. I would say it was a bad debate. I would say it was one of the worst debates in history. And his poll numbers crashed.
I love when he does
So
that.
instead of saying, you know, let's keep going and maybe something happens the other way, they said, oh, we're going to replace him. Let's just replace him. That's like you're in a fight. A prize fighter's in a fight. He's not doing where you say, let's bring in another fighter. So our whole campaign was steered toward him, and now we have to steer toward him. But ultimately, it's the same because they have bad policy. They have policies of open borders, unbelievable open borders, horrible energy policies. They want to get rid of, as you say, gasoline in cars. They want to get rid of oil. They want to get rid of efficient heating.
Mr. President.
Environmentally, what they're doing is killing our country. They're absolutely destroying our country. But the inflation is the thing that's hurting the black worker, the black population, and every other population within our country. Inflation is the worst it's been, I think, in over 100 years. And they'll fact check it. They'll say it's only 58. Whatever it may be, they don't add all the numbers. They don't add the really bad numbers, and you can check that too. But inflation, Harris, is absolutely destroying this country and the people in our country. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
President, can I ask you another question
Yes,
that is also impacting Black Americans?
And that's very clear now. Good.
I'm sorry?
It's very clear. I hear you.
Okay. So Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed Black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder.
This was a good question for all of us.
Okay, so
This was by far the best question of the whole thing.
okay, do you want to let them run with it first, and then do y'all want to talk about it, or do y'all want to talk about it first and then let it run, or what are you thinking?
Let's let it go first.
All right.
You said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either.
Okay.
But again, why would...
They're going to be charging the officer. I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need
I think that was a weekend, right?
The respect and dignity back.
Yeah.
In this particular
I think it was like
case,
July
I
4th
saw
weekend.
something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part.
So here, I just want to add this. Here's what I believe. What I believe is the way that she asked the question was, why do you believe that he should receive immunity? That is a terrible way. It's like that,
Yeah, don't accept the premise of the question.
Yeah. When are you going to stop beating your wife? Right?
Yes.
Like,
Well, I mean, I actually think that she didn't ask it too bad because, like, the question is, dude, are cops going to have full immunity even if they do dumb shit? If a cop does something retarded, does he just get full immunity? They can just murder. Basically, can you murder people for no reason at all and have immunity? And
but when you ask that generally, right?
Yeah.
She's asking about a specific question, but she didn't ask, should he receive immunity? She asked the question as if she already believes that he thinks that this cop should receive immunity because of what he said previously.
Well, yeah,
That's a
previously
flawed
he's
premise
pretty much, I
Right.
think, and I could be wrong, but the platform is almost to give cops full immunity. And to tell you the truth, in an uprising situation, if that gets written into any kind of permanent law where cops have full immunity,
Yeah,
that idea to me sounds ridiculous.
all,
Like I
all
think
of it.
that if you kill someone's fucking chihuahua that wasn't a threat to you, you
Hey,
should go
whoa,
to jail.
I have a Chihuahua. All right.
I do too. I do as well.
Yeah, no, I know. I think we all have our own outlook on qualified immunity as even as it sits currently. The way that she asked though is what I have a problem with. You know what I mean? Because of what has said in the past, she's asking the question as if she already believes that he is going. And CNN and MSNBC and
Get what you're
ABC
saying.
and they've already been running with like he said he's already going to give immunity to to this like bro it so all right here, well let me let this wrap up and then we'll come back to it.
Most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime or made a mistake, an innocent mistake, there's a big difference between.
I don't know. I don't like the immunity conversation. I can't stand it. I mean, we do need cops.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, if like cops were responsible for every decision they make, I mean, we just need better. Our police system sucks. Our
For
police,
sure.
our training sucks. A lot of them suck. A lot of them, the people are stupid. That woman should have never let the fucking cops in her house. Like, bitch, if you don't have a warrant, you don't come in my house.
Well, let's go
Right.
back even prior to that. The cops. So if this woman was having a mental episode or having some type of, because she did not seem altogether when he said, "Is there anything else that you need from us tonight?" and she said no. Done. The call is over. You don't
Yep.
need to go in the house. You don't need whatever documents. Like that's it. She would be alive, chilling
But they
right
like
now.
fishing, bro. They like fishing. They're
Of
trying to
course.
get paid.
Because they're thinking, she must be hitting the pipe. She must be doing something. She to get this far whacked out of her mind. So let's go see if we have a felony chilling on the coffee table. Like that's the kind of shit that they're looking for, right?
Yep.
So I mean, I don't believe that police should just have immunity free and clear, right? I think the best way is to find a way that there are elements of protection for law enforcement against those split second decisions, but bro, you could have backed up 4 steps and completely given yourself, anyway, that's a whole conversation in itself. You did not need to close in, and the difference between, I mean, his first response was when she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." He said, "You better effing not. I will effing shoot you in your effing face." And I watched that on slow mo on my whatever ridiculous inch TV at 0.25x, and I did see right directly under the second officer's badge cam under his left arm, you see for a split second the pot go like this. But I think that and I'm just an idiot. I don't know anything, but I think what happened was in her mind, she course corrected and was like, I'm sorry. The pot is the problem. The pot needs to go away so these officers can feel safe and not murder me." So I think she was literally trying to throw the pot down because it did flip. The only way a pot of water could flip is if it was launched. The water did make it all the way to the end of the tile floor. So she did, in my opinion, it looked like she did fling it. It's like two what do you call it? Like the film, like 2 like clips where you just start to like see like literally 2 little clips where you see the red pot like flip up. I don't think she was trying to in that moment, even if her plan and like if she got that urge to fling it at them or something like that, I don't think that she was still trying to go through with it when she had 2 guns on her. I don't know. Where do y'all?
I think that their dumbasses should have never let her walk in the kitchen. It's a mentally ill person and 2 stupid morons. It's like,
Yeah.
what happens when a mentally ill person and 2 stupid idiots walk into a bar?
Death.
Right.
Like,
You know?
fucking morons. And it's sad, but it's like they keep talking about our guns as people, bro. And it is true. Like, cops are fucking dumb. They're
Yeah.
fucking just as dumb
They're
as
just people. They're
if
just
if
people.
they were really smart, would they have become a cop? Wouldn't they be a business owner? Wouldn't they have some high executive job in a company? Wouldn't they have designed some kind of product that they're not a cop in? Like, public service jobs, don't get me wrong. This is like the old school thinking that like a teacher's a respectable job. A police officer, it's the truth is you couldn't get a fucking different job. That's the truth of the fucking matter.
Well, some
Okay,
people
because
do genuinely want to be. They're like, I want to do this thing, even though I'll make less, even though I'll be, dragged through the dirt. Even there are some people like that, and
usually
honestly,
it's housewives or fucking
people
limp
that
dick
have,
motherfuckers that don't want to be a provider, because you should never stop trying to provide as much as you can provide unless
of
you're
course,
making $500,000 a year doing something. You
but
probably need
you
to
you have
increase
that thing in you. Like you, I'd say a lot of us, we have that thing in us that's like, no matter what I do, I'm gonna do better and I'm gonna improve and make progress every day, like Verizon. You feel me? But like it's I think a lot of people get kind of lost or stuck and they're like, well, I need to feel purpose. The only way I can feel purpose is if I feel like I'm doing something important. And a lot of times ego comes in there and when people face something that, oh, this may burn me or disfigure me, or it certainly was not a lethal weapon. Yes, I've seen hot water, hurt people before, but I don't think, I think the way that they went about it was ridiculous, but I think the situation shouldn't have even happened if they were good police. But I don't even think we're on that, like, were they good cops or bad cops? Like, they made terrible decisions. The stop should have been
Yeah,
over. That
I don't know if
encounter
they
was
were good or
done.
bad. I know that they were fucking morons. That's for sure.
You just claimed a woman saying, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," is a crazy person. That's your only reason. What qualification do you have to call a dead woman anything? Well, I don't think. Are you talking about me or I don't know? Um,
I don't know, bro. She was definitely off her rocker a little bit. Sorry.
I I watched her through the entire encounter, and
There's
she
a I
definitely
don't know if you've
seemed.
ever been in a crazy house, but there's people that talk about Jesus all the time and lose their minds. It
Yeah,
happens.
I
It's a
mean,
thing.
I will tell you from living around people that have gone through mental health crises, or whether they were just a couple of instances or people that had mental health
You don't.
conditions.
Okay, BB Luminous. Didn't you just say you were racist a little bit ago in the chat?
It was
Okay,
confirmed that
bro.
she is okay. It was confirmed she is a schizophrenic. If Kimball
Uh,
said it, I believe it. I don't know. All I'm saying is that she appeared to be a few Excedrin tablets short of a full medicine cabinet. That's all I'm saying. But
it's a sad
either way,
situation. Ain't nobody saying that it's not sad, bro. I hope God has mercy on her soul, and I hope
of
those dudes are
course.
punished. So I don't know.
Of
I don't
course.
know
No,
what
I
you're up
and I
to,
think
bro.
I think all of us agree that the stop should have been over, but like before they even walked through that threshold. Like uh, you even this is the sad part. You even hear them say, "Is there anything else that you need from us tonight?" She literally looks around and says, "No, I don't think so." Done. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace. That's it. Why would you? Why? I'm not even going to say why would she let them in. Why would you two in charge of that current situation, right? If she wasn't in her right mind, why would you guys want? You know what I mean? Like that is a foolish
Because
thing for them
like
to
you
do.
said, bro, cops are looking for money for the system. That's
Yeah,
their job. To be they're salesmen, to tell you the truth. They're making money hand over fist for any reason that they can. That's why ticket prices are hundreds of dollars for something stupid. That's why, you know, they're there to make money, and then they're not getting paid a lot of money. So
even if they just
you're
get the
gonna get,
attaboys
yeah.
and
So
the raise, the, you know, whatever, the promotion or whatnot. Look, I think it's a terrible thing. I think what happened is a combination of several
who said
things.
we don't need police, bro? You're out of your mind, bro. You're just looking to pick a fight, dude.
Yeah, I don't think any of us is saying that. She is dead because the cops are effing dumb, Mr. Luminous. Yeah, I agree. The cops were dumb. I also
Yeah,
agree that she
said that
was
a lot.
clearly um, showcasing signs that she was not all mentally there. You know. Anyway, all right. Let's keep it going. God, RedDawn, you really got to get your stuff together, man. You're just you're a
Bro,
bad guest. I'm just kidding.
like we said, bro, there's a lot of crazy people in the world, man.
There are lots. All right, hang tight.
Being a bad person, and if somebody made an
bad.
innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine
You
an
go
innocent
after
mistake?
somebody and it's a very close call and it's very dangerous. And you know, they have the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a, you know, life and death decision. And sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake.
So I want to follow up really quickly. You know, I find it interesting because you do talk about reining in prosecutors, especially when it comes to prosecutors that are prosecuting you. Why doesn't that skepticism apply to law enforcement?
Well, I've been prosecuted because I'm a political opponent of two people that have weaponized our justice system. I've been prosecuted. I just won the big case in Florida. Everyone said that was the biggest case. That was the most difficult case. And I just won it. Now, Biden has a similar case, except much worse. I was protected under the Presidential Records Act. Biden.
Hold on, let me say that. I just want to jump in and say no one is defending those officers' actions. Absolutely not. What I was saying is that it looks like an element of that confusion was that pot had flipped up. We've all said those officers were idiots. That one cop had gone from agency to agency doing a number of despicable things. So there's nobody that is carrying water for those two dumbass cops. I just want to throw that out there, but we'll continue.
I don't know what's going on, bro.
Do you guys both agree?
Yeah, of course. Those cops were morons. They were idiots. Obviously the dude had a record. To tell you the truth, it's even beyond stupidity. That I think, like what Trump just said, the cop was evil. I think he was an evil person. I think he probably heard the word Jesus and a fucking demon shot that woman, for all I know. But that's why I said we need police reform, but we need more. We need like a country reform. We need the Constitution to be the head of the law. We need a whole change in the system, and it sucks in its current form. Yeah. And as long as that system is in place, we're gonna get shitty things that come out of it because it's a shitty system.
And we absolutely have at least half the population that are drones for the elite that are literally working at chiseling away our culture on a regular basis, where it is their job to ensure that we hate each other. It's a mess. It's a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible. And I'm not I just wanted to make that clear that none of us are carrying water for those two cops. I was just saying what I saw when I went back and watched it on the full screen on 0.25x. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. Look, I'm not saying, we're literally just talking about things that we look at and things that we listen to. That's it. So, all right.
Biden wasn't, because he wasn't president at the time, and he had 50 years worth of documents, and they ruled that he was incompetent and therefore he shouldn't stand trial. And I said, isn't that something? He's incompetent and he can't stand trial, and yet He can be president. Isn't that nice?
Mr. President,
but they released him on the basis that he was incompetent. They said he had no memory, and he was a nice old guy, but he had no memory, and therefore we're not going to prosecute him. I won the case, and it got very little publicity. I didn't notice ABC doing any publicity on it, George.
We cover you extensively, sir. I'd love to move over on to
I didn't
different
notice
topics.
you do any publicity on it at all. I won the case, the biggest case. This is an attack on a political opponent. I have another one where
Sir,
I have
if you
a
don't mind, I'd
hostile
love
judge.
to. We have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different
No,
topics.
excuse
if
you.
we
You're the
can.
one that held me up for 35 minutes, just so you know.
Ooh.
If we can move on now to the state of the race, sir, I want to get back to the campaign.
She's
Senator
burning
J.D.
up.
Vance is your running mate. He's had a lot of controversy lately, and I want to read you a few things that he has said in the past. He said the Democrats running the country are a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. He's not talking here about how great it is to be a parent. He's attacking what he says are the choices people are making to not have children.
True. I think if you don't have children, I don't think that it's equal to people who do have children. So that's just my opinion on that. People can be mad all they want to be mad. But if you don't have children, the population dies. You don't have a next generation if you don't have children. You live your whole life for yourself. Where people with children,
I think you're offending all of the dinks in our community.
yeah, there's a reason it sounds like
All the dinks.
because it's a dink. And if you don't have kids and live to take care of other people, then hope you enjoy your life, dude. But you're not passing on nothing, so that's just a fact. You ain't passing on anything, and then you get in a position where you feel like, I'm going to affect the world. And then you got people in government who also stand there and say, the kids belong to the community and all this stuff, bro. It's like, you don't even have kids. You people don't even have kids. You're going to tell other people about their kids. You don't even know what it's like to have a kid.
What do you mean, you people? I'm just kidding.
You people, the people without kids, anyone without a kid.
So God's Marine, anyone without a kid, best kids in the whole world. God's Marine says, I have just publicly challenged the so-called female. It's a man with a pecker who boxed in the Olympics against another female to a worldwide heavy ship championship fight.
I say Mike Tyson should put on a wig and go for it.
Dude, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's see. I think I missed someone else. YouTube refuses for me to post it. They will not let me, him, her, whatever it is. I will knock it out in 3 seconds the first round. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Oh, Silverback. Did we offend you, Silverback? Bro, you know we love you, bro. You have an interesting evening. Good night. What did I do? Did I do something? I didn't mean to do something. All right, we'll keep it moving.
Did you know that he had these views about people who do not have children before you picked him to be your running mate? And do you agree with him?
No, I know this. He is very family oriented, and he thinks family is a great thing. That doesn't mean he thinks that if you don't have a family, it's not. I know people with families. I know people with great families. I know people with very troubled families. And I also know people with no families. They didn't meet the right person. Things happen. You go through life, you don't meet the right person.
But he's not just talking about families here. He also said that people that don't have children should get less votes than those that do.
I'm just speaking for myself.
Is that your campaign
I think
position?
I'm speaking for him too. He strongly believes in family, but I know people with great families. I know people with not great families that don't have a family. And the people without the family are far better. They're superior in many cases, okay? He's not saying they're not. What he's saying is that he thinks the family experience is a very important thing. It's a very good thing. But that doesn't mean that if you grow up and you grow older and you don't meet somebody that would be wonderful to meet and would have been good, that that's a bad thing. He's not saying that. My interpretation, you'll have to ask him actually, but my interpretation is he's strongly family oriented, but that doesn't mean if you don't have a family, there's something wrong with it.
Just one last point, and then we'll move on. Just one of the bedrock principles of American life is one person, one vote. Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that someone who has children should have more votes than a person who does not have children. I just want to be clear here. Is that the position of your campaign?
Well, no, but it's not something I have ever heard before. I can tell you this. Right now, you have illegal aliens coming into our country, many from prisons and many from mental institutions, and they want to give them votes. I don't think they should have votes. They came into our country illegally.
I just want to say really quickly, I don't know if you can hear that, but when he shifted topics, she looked over to either the next person, the woman in the black outfit, or the woman in the salmon outfit, and she said, "Change it," under her breath. So I think she was trying to say, like, change the topic. I'll bring it back here. Just a second. This is probably too far, but whatevs.
Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that someone who has children should have more votes than a person who does not have children. I just want to be clear here. Is that the position of your campaign?
Well, no, but it's not something I have ever heard before. I can tell you this. Right now, you have illegal aliens coming into our country, many from prisons and many from mental institutions, and they want to give them votes. I don't think they should have votes. They came into our country illegally, and they're taking the vote away from all of the people in this room that have been here a long time, that have worked hard, that in many cases, and you'll see this happening, if I'm not elected, you're going to see it happen. If I am, you're not going to have any problem. But you're going to see it happening a long time. You're going to see the people in this room and people outside of this room are going to be losing their jobs to people that have come into this country illegally.
Mr. President, can we stay with just kind of the state of the race right now? Because I felt like that vice president question, candidate question was right in there with that. So let's talk about J.D. Vance for a little bit. He's had some stumbles out of the gate. I don't know if you're hearing what we hear as reporters, but it's been a tough couple of weeks for him. Why did you choose J.D. Vance?
Bro, come on, dog.
Why did you choose him? I'm having a hard time hearing too.
I chose him
Everybody out there can, but it's hard.
I'll tell you why. I chose him because he's a very strong believer in work and the working man and woman, and especially the working man and woman who have been treated very unfairly, because you have many of them in this room. But you have many of those people, they were treated very unfairly. They worked very hard
and
YouTube.
They
were treated unfairly. He wrote the book that became a bestseller. The movie became a smash hit. He's a very smart.
I also want to say this. So Preston Decay says, except of course when they let the TV and the state raise their kids, that is definitely the parents. As parents, to all the parents in the chat, a lot of times life is busy and crazy, and I want to encourage you guys to never ever let that be the reason that you miss even one opportunity to make an impact on your child. One of the thing about children is they go through these defining moments, usually when they're between the ages of like 5 and 9 and usually 12 or 13, and you could miss just one moment, one afternoon at one point in their life, and it will literally be the determination of what type of human being they grow up to be in the future. Be present with your kids, put your phone down, get off Instagram, get off YouTube or whatever, and focus on your children while you are with them. It is so important. Goonbeam, what's up, brother? Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Smart guy, without the benefit of having a family that has contacts, like a father that was well connected. He got into Yale Law School. He graduated in 2 years from Ohio State, summa cum laude. I mean, you take a look at, his career has been an amazing career. He started off at a level with a difficult family situation, very difficult with the mother and the father and everything else. He ends up going to Yale Law School and was one of the top students, became the head of the law journal. I mean, that's an amazing thing. He's a 4-year, he was in the military with great distinction for 4 years, got out, went into business, became successful in business, very successful in business, actually, did public offerings and other things. And I have to believe in that. I mean, he's somebody that was born in a rough situation. Most of the people know that situation because it was very well documented in his book. And I have a lot of respect for somebody that can get into Yale and become one of the best students in Yale, that meets a young woman at Yale who was also outstanding, and they get married, they have a beautiful family, but he had he's made himself an amazing life. He then goes to Ohio, lives in Ohio, and he had my endorsement. That helped. But he wins the Senate. He becomes a United States Senator. So he's a United States Senator. So Harris, like I respect you for your success, I respect people for their success.
The reason I asked the question is because the last time you and I sat and talked was the day that you were shot.
All right, can I just say what he did right there is a silent dig. When there's 3 people on stage and he calls out one of them, the one that he is having the only civil conversation with, and says, like, I respect you for all of your success. That's a very respectful dig.
We'd been together for much of that day. You left to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, and we didn't know what was next.
Yeah. The Senate. He becomes a United States Senator. So he's a United States Senator. So Harris, like I respect you for your success, I respect people for their success.
The reason I asked the question is because the last time you and I sat and talked was the day that you were shot. We'd been together for much of that day. You left to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, and we didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
And 2 days after that,
I cannot understand your microphone.
I know it is really hard for me to understand.
It's just, I can understand you perfectly.
Because she's closer.
I can understand you.
Happy to hear that, sir.
But I can't
Really
understand, Harris.
I have a few more questions.
Because of the distance, and the mics are really in lousy shape, but I cannot understand
Are you asking a question?
what you're saying.
Lousy.
So what I wanted to say was the last time we spoke, you said some words that were prophetic because I asked you who you wanted to choose for vice president.
Yeah.
And you said normally it really wouldn't matter what they would bring, you choose somebody that you think has a future, that sort of thing. But you said these words 3.5 hours before an attempted assassination on your life. You told me that bad things happen, Harris. And that's why this decision is important this time. Bad things happen. You said it twice.
No shit.
Vernon Central.
Look at JD Vance. Is he ready on day one?
Does he what?
Ready on day one, if he has to be.
I've always had great respect for him, and for the other candidates too. But I will say this, and I think this is well documented. Historically, the vice president, in terms of the election, does not have any impact. I mean, virtually no impact. You have 2 or 3 days where there's a lot of commotion as to who, like you're having it on the Democrat side, who it's going to be. And then that dies down, and it's all about the presidential pick. Virtually never has it mattered. Maybe Lyndon Johnson mattered for different reasons of what we're talking about, not for vote reasons, but for political reasons, other political reasons. But historically, the choice of a vice president makes no difference. You're voting for the president, and you can have a vice president who's outstanding in every way, and I think JD is. I think that all of them would have been, but you're not voting that way. You're voting for the president. You're voting for me. If you like me, I'm going to win. If you don't like me, I'm not going to win.
I'm going to get my JD Vance question in.
JD Vance?
I'm going to get my JD Vance question in. To your point and to Rachel's point, he, has a lot of opinions about childless women like myself or divorced people like yourself. Do you think, well, I mean, my point is here.
But it was said in a friendly manner.
My point is,
Hey-o.
do you think the Republican Party is getting a little bit too judgy about people's lives when you think about abortion or when you think about what JD Vance is saying?
I don't think, look, I think that the Democrat Party is really the one that has the problem. I think they're radical on abortion because they're allowing abortion in the 9th month. They're allowing the
But I
death.
think it's
They're
about
allowing
freedom,
the death
right?
of a baby after the baby is born, basically.
All right, let me just jump in here. All right, for all of this was fact checked and determined to be untrue. Let me tell you this, okay? As a Virginian, okay, at the time my governor was Ralph Northam. All right, Ralph Northam sat there and said that their goal would be to allow a mother to go into a hospital and give birth. And after birth, the baby would be made comfortable. And then a conversation between the physician and the mother would ensue on what they would intend to do with the born baby that is not property of the mother. It is a human being that is removed from the mother, even when the baby's in the womb. I mean, conception is life,
So
right?
they would decide whether Moloch gets tribute or not.
Exactly, correct. Yes, they would decide whether they
If
would
you
be
haven't seen that video, it was all over the internet for a really long time. So
all over.
Alex
and that's
Jones has
why,
played it a million times.
yeah,
The Virginia governor said, "Will," and he's like freaking Kentucky Fried Chicken voice,
yeah,
that they would freaking let the baby die. They
yeah.
said we will decide whether or not we will render aid to the baby.
It would
Let
be
it
kept
pass.
comfortable.
Yeah, it would be
It
kept. It.
we
While
or
it
no,
died.
we would make it comfortable and then kill it.
I'm pretty sure there's states that are, the problem is, man, is it's just kind of ridiculous, dude. It's all we just live in a ridiculous world with ridiculous things that happen, and yeah, I
God's
mean,
Marine, are you a bot? No one has said that your vote doesn't count. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about I don't know.
who you
Are you?
talking to, God's Marine? Who's
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking to us or if you're no one is at least I don't believe. I haven't been keeping an eye on chat because my face has been in the video most of the time, but um I don't believe anyone has told you that your vote doesn't count. Sir, your vote very much counts for someone out there.
Yep.
Um
Unless Biden rigs the election, then our votes kind of don't. If they can drop paper ballots, nobody's vote counts. If you can add a fake vote into any election that's not real, what is that? That immediately makes other people's votes not count because you're inputting fake things into this. There's a number of how many votes take place, right? So it's like,
dare I
unfortunately,
say
I mean, it still counts, but it discounts.
I'll say this. I believe wholeheartedly that every single election in the history of forever, there has always been cheating. Always been cheating to every degree, even if it's minuscule, small, barely detectable. It has been there, and it will always be there. And as technology continues to grow and develop, it is going to get more sophisticated as time goes by. Trump, Biden, Harris doesn't matter. Did you know that the word government literally means mind control?
It
Don't
does.
believe me. Why
Govern the
don't you
mind.
look it up in the Latin and the green? You're all being played. I'm going to guess this is your first night here. I'm going to guess this is your first night.
I agree
Welcome.
with you though. Govern the ment. That word ment is Latin. It means mind. It means govern the mind. It means
Oh,
control the thoughts.
100%. It's
So
not that
we
I
agree.
don't agree. It's that I think he thinks that we think differently than we do. And that's okay. You haven't gotten to know us yet. I would encourage you to stick around, get to know us. But you know, things aren't always as they seem because we're reviewing a Trump video, which all of y'all, how many times have we reviewed a 36-minute Trump video on this channel? I'm just saying, y'all know. Okay, he's not a bot. Yes, this is my first night, and I have so much knowledge to give you. Thank you. I'm grateful. And help you as long as we can communicate together. We can help. That's beautiful, God's Marine. Thank you.
Okay.
Lord be with you, and also with you. All right, let's do this.
Virginia,
every state in the country.
based on the governor of Virginia,
Executing a
they're
baby in
allowing the
every
death
state
of
in
the
the country
baby
is illegal.
after it's born.
It's
They're
a crime.
allowing abortions in the 8th and 9th month. of
Well, Democrats
pregnancy.
have denied.
I think they're right. And I think the Republican Party is actually much less. I think I've made them much less radical, perhaps. But the Republican Party, what we're doing is bringing it back to the states where everybody wanted it. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservative, everybody wanted abortion brought back. They didn't want Roe v. Wade in the federal government. They wanted it, everybody.
But the
wanted
majority
it
of
back.
Americans oppose
Excuse
Roe
me.
v. Wade being
They
overturned.
don't
Multiple
know
polls have showed
about
that,
this.
sir.
Right now, they're voting. It brought it back to the states. Now, I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Ronald Reagan believed with rape, incest, life of the mother. I do. I think most people do. I think most Republicans do also. But if you take a look, right now they're doing, it's an amazing thing. Out of the federal government, it's in states, and people are voting. And I will say, Ohio is, let's call it a more liberal version, has been approved. Kansas, the same thing, a little bit surprising to a lot of people. But the people are now voting, and it's taking this issue that's been going on for 52 years and has torn our country apart, and it's giving it to the people to vote on, and they're voting. And many states have already voted. Others are in the process of voting, and it's bringing it back to the people and a vote of the people. And it's not at all radical. And again, you have to follow your heart. I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Most people believe in the 3 exceptions. Most Republicans believe in the exceptions. But they don't want to see an abortion in the 9th month or the 8th month. Almost everybody agrees to that. And they certainly don't want to see, in the case of the governor of Virginia, the former governor, I might add, who said, we set the baby aside and then we decide what to do. Meaning, what do? We execute the baby. That's a radical, horrible position.
Man.
And some people want that. I don't want it. Most people don't.
Thank you. Can I just pivot really quickly to another question about, you brought up health, Harris. You're an active man. We see you golfing all the time. But if you win, you'll still be president at 82.
No.
Which is older than Biden is right now.
But not mentally. Look, mentally.
Bazinga.
He's shot. But most people.
Would you consider?
Most people. I know many people in their 80s and their 90s that are in great shape. Some of our greatest leaders. You look at throughout the world history, the greatest leaders. Some of the greatest leaders in the world were in their 80s.
But here's the question: would you consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining, or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would?
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my
me,
goodness.
and I'm fine
You
with
will not let her live that down.
It does it. She was very rude, sir. Very rude. That was a nasty. That wasn't a question.
This is funny.
That wasn't a question. She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated your
answer the
statement, sir,
question.
actually.
You said you would. You would.
Oh,
make that
absolutely.
decision
If I
to step
thought
down.
that I was failing in some way, I want people to be sharp. I'll go a step further. I want anybody running for president to take an aptitude test, to take a cognitive test. I think it's a great idea. And I took 2 of them and I aced them.
Well,
I took 2 of them. But let me ask you.
Yeah.
I would like to have people running for president. And I don't mean because they're 75 or 85. I think anybody running, I'd like to do it. People say it's not constitutional. I would like to have something passed where you can do it. I think we should know. I mean, I've watched what's happened in the last couple of years under this gentleman, and our country is a mess. We have inflation. We have the millions of people falling in. We have Afghanistan, which was the worst, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. What he has done to our country, and her too, what they've done to our country. She has been a horrible vice president. She's considered the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but would you consider taking the cognitive test?
Mr. President.
I would love to
and
do
make it public.
Well, I've already taken 2 of them, but I'll do it again.
Mr. President, how do you intend to?
I suggested, Harris, that let's take one I said, Joe and I will go and take a cognitive test. Now, I'd do it with her too. I would do it with her also. You know what? She failed her law exam. She didn't pass her law exam, so maybe she wouldn't pass the cognitive test.
Mr. President,
Are you saying she wouldn't pass? Just to be
Dang.
I'm
clear,
just giving you the facts.
to be clear, you don't think
I'm
Harris?
just
how do
giving
you
you the
intend,
facts.
and
She
look,
didn't pass her bar exam, and she didn't think she would pass it, and she didn't think she was going to ever pass it. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she passed it.
She did pass it.
There's a man over here. I think he must work.
Mr. President, I would love to ask you about January 6th. You've called yourself the candidate of law and order.
Yeah.
When Time Magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely.
Sure.
You called them patriots.
Yeah, but it wasn't that short.
140 police
of an
officers
answer.
were assaulted that day.
Yeah.
Their injuries included broken bones. At least one officer lost an eye. One had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs. Another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol, a horrible attack on the Capitol. You saw the people that were protesting and spraying these incredible monuments, bells, lions, all these magnificent limestone and granite.
Let me stop this for a moment and ask this. And absolutely, God's Marine, Jesus is King, and we are all 3 devout Christians, very flawed men, and 3 devout Christians. Let me ask this: if you guys had to answer a question, what would you say was worse, the Summer of Love or the day after January 5th?
Summer of Love.
Hands down.
It was mostly peaceful, but it was,
But fiery. Mostly peaceful, but fiery. What about you, RedDawn?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people in society that need mental health. I think we have a mental health crisis. And
yeah, I think we need to pump the brakes on this, and I don't think you asked the right question. I'm going to come at you, Dark. When the inauguration of Donald Trump was going on, they were burning fucking limousines and buildings in DC. Now, that wasn't an insurrection. You're burning the fucking city in protest of the election winner.
Yeah.
That's not an insurrection.
No.
But somehow grandma walking through in between the stanchions on the carpet, not going over the line, that's an insurrection.
Do you know who owned the limousines that were burned?
It was like some liberal dude.
I think it was a black dude.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And by the way, during the Summer of Love, 13 minorities were killed. So George Floyd died. I'll say he died. George Floyd died.
Wait, you forgot the one statistic you always talk about.
Which one? Oh, well, it's not his anniversary, but I guess we could say George Floyd has been drug free for over 3 years now, or is it 4 years? Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what heaven looks like. We don't know what hell looks like. So, hey, I can't say for sure. But look, I'll say this: there is absolutely no way you could compare the two. Okay, because what I believe happened is the climate of the country at that point was a bunch of people that had just watched people of opposing views burn down the country for months. And they said, you know what? It's our time to make a statement. And dude, going back, I found the video today, January 5th at 1:29 p.m. I made a video that said J6 is a mousetrap. 13-minute video. And I was like, this is a mousetrap. There are flyers going around that look like they were created by the CCP. They look fake as hell. It just seems like a setup, and boom, it absolutely was. So I'm just saying, it's I think because we've had years of them lying about and all of it, the mainstream media, the FBI, they have just been lying to the faces of the general public about what that was. That was a picnic. That was nothing. If you truly So the people that you really need to be concerned about, if you really saw them insurrecting, you wouldn't even talk about it. It would just be a thing that you
there's not
feel
one
and
person that
do.
was charged with insurrection, not one.
No,
So it's not an insurrection. It's
No.
the dumbest. January 6th was one of the dumbest days in
Yeah.
history.
But
And
that's
it
their
definitely
way.
didn't equate to the summer of love.
That is their way that they can. Are you sending me screenshots of your analytics while we're on a live stream? It's one of the days that they got to basically make it look like it was something that it wasn't, and it's a joke. It is stupid. It is ridiculous. It's played out. Give up on it. Of course, it's a psyop, dude. That was the biggest. You know what it was? It was the biggest gathering of police, law enforcement, federal agents, and that we've had in DC since, I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
I've never seen so many feds wearing MAGA hats. That's all
I know, and I would love to hear more about those pipe bombs that they found. Anyway,
with red paint, red spray paint that will never actually come off, especially on the limestone. It will never. I'm a builder. I know about this stuff. It'll never. You'll see it in 100 years from now. They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the
question
people
is
that
on
tried
those
to
rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would
ask,
you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis, how come the people that took over a large percentage of Seattle, how come nothing happened to them? How come the people
But sir, we're talking about people that were seen beating officers with flagpoles, dragging them down the stairs. They're on video. Have you seen that video, sir?
Oh, really? Well,
you would pardon
have
those,
you seen the
pardon those
videos
rioters?
from CHOP of people literally engaging in shootouts in the street? Have you seen, like, oh man, this is such a game to them. They don't. Oh, sorry, it's frustrating. Let me just stop and shut up.
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face. You know, nobody died that day. You do know that. But people died in Seattle. Nobody died, but people died in Minneapolis. You know, people died in Minneapolis. And nothing happens, and nobody ever talks, and nothing happens to those people.
You know, it's funny because they never want to talk about officer casualties, which also are injuries, right? From the summer of love. How many it has to be over 1,000 officer casualties, injuries. Like she said, over 140 officers were injured that day
in a couple hours.
I didn't see 140 officers there unless they were wearing MAGA hats. I'm saying, yeah, Seattle too. Dude, that was I literally saw. So this is back when we had a Discord server of like 600-700 people, and there were dudes that were going live on Discord, going into the burn down Minneapolis and Seattle police departments. Well, yeah, I'll shut up. It was crazy to see a city in ruins like that. And the whole streets were filled with smog and pepper spray and tear gas, and it's crazy, man. Like, dude, David Dorn was shot and killed over a TV, man. So it's crazy. They'll never take responsibility. Never.
J6 people with a vengeance, and I'll tell you what.
And hold on, I got to say this too. Okay, so they had people that represent those people of opposing views, the left, right? We'll say the left or the extreme left. They had people going on national TV saying, "Fight, fight." What was her name? She just passed away recently. She said, if you see these people at the grocery store, at restaurants, at gas stations, you form a mob and you tell them you are not welcome here. Like, what? like bust out the pitchforks and the like, man, that's, and they're telling people go out, riot, call this number and you'll get bonded out. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And then
protest in front of Kavanaugh's house and attempt to
yeah,
kill him. It's okay.
yeah. And then homeboy said, look, I'm not saying he's walking on water, okay? Far from it, okay? But Trump literally gets on the mic and he says, stop, basically stand back or stand down and stand
Go
by.
home. He said,
Yeah,
go home.
literally go home, stand down and stand by. And I mean,
Bro,
he told him to
they've called
stop.
for violence a lot, man. The left has called for a lot of
Absolutely.
violence. They obviously have called Donald Trump Hitler. He's got to be stopped at all costs. They're
Yep.
not getting in trouble for anything to do with the assassination when they've been literally saying this man needs to be stopped at all costs and he's a threat
For
to
nearly 10
democracy.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
he's racist, he's a fascist, he's this, he's that, he's gonna take your right to to choose like all these crazy things. Like, and you know what, I think people are getting pissed off and they're getting mad about the situations that they're in now, but the situation that they're in now that they're pissed off about is from their fucked up administration that we're currently living under. And then they're being told to be pissed at somebody else. It's not even the president. And it's so easy to get pulled into this right and left shit. It's all bullshit. But it's also a world that we kind of have to live in, so we're aware of what's going on,
I mean, you got to be aware of what's going on. If you're going to be prepared, you need to know like what's happening around you, what you're preparing for. But I mean, dude, the world is a crazy place. Like nobody thinks Trump is a sinless man or the savior or anything like that. But that's the option we got, and it's just very odd that they've attacked him so much. I mean, could it all be a show? I'm the worst at that. I think everything is fake. I think everything is initially I thought the whole shooting was staged. I'm like, this is just too picture perfect. The ear, the flag, the fight. Like, come on, dude. Like, you could script a movie, it wouldn't come out.
We're
as
living in
good
a
as that did.
simulation.
Yeah, it's
right.
almost like everything is fake.
Let me ask this: did you see any birds in the background?
I did, but the birds weren't real.
M. Gabriel, man, you know what, M. Gabriel, I appreciate you bringing this up because I was actually tempted to not do this, but earlier this afternoon I was like, you know what, I think it's it's important to go through it together in our little world because we are so kind of removed from politics because we just all want limited government. We care about freedom, independence, and liberty, and we want to have a limited government and be left alone. But we also, like RedDawn said, if you can't prepare if you're not aware, man, that's good. That's good. So I'm glad that you're being able to see this, and I'm glad that some of y'all are finding value in this because we almost didn't do it. Because I was like, everyone had to have seen it. Everyone's talking about it. It's all over the place, So I just figured that very limited. Yes, exactly. So yeah, and Gabriel said DLD After Dark. Thanks. I would have never watched this without this review. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Appreciate all you guys. All right, let's keep it
God's
going.
Marine. I think we all know that stuff, brother, because that's why we prepare. We're not worried about the actual Red Dawn of them coming over. Everything that is a threat to you is always going to be local to you. It's always going to be close to you. It's going to affect your immediate area.
For sure.
That's what we prepare for, bro. That's why we carry on a daily basis. Domestic is it's always around you. There's evil in every corner of the earth, and that's why you got to prepare and stay awake and try not to be a scumbag and be good to people and build relationships with people. And
I think he'll know when we close. I think he'll know. He'll be like, okay, I get these guys a little bit more. It's easy to see some dudes talking about presidential nominees and be like, oh, they're just some political commentators or whatever. I would say that this channel is the absolute furthest thing from political commentation. But you know, when we close out, I think you'll get a better idea of who we are. And I appreciate you coming in and hanging out and chatting and all that, you know. So thank you. We appreciate it. All right, let's let this run.
What about the cops that were, and I'm all for the police, as you know, but what about the police that are ushering everybody into the Capitol? Go in, go in, go in. What about that? Look, nothing is perfect in life, but you have people from Minneapolis, you have people just from 5 days ago in Washington, D.C. They were having fistfights and fighting with the police. They were spraying and destroying, they were desecrating our monuments in Washington, D.C. 5 days ago, and nothing happened to them. And you can't have two systems of justice. That's why they went after me as a political opponent, because they felt they couldn't win without doing that. And we're going to win our cases and we're going to be vindicated. But I have to spend a lot of time on that and money. That's what they want. After the election, they won't care. Although in my case, I think they probably will, because the hatred is pretty deep. But I'll tell you, they went after me as a political opponent. That's never happened in our country before, and it sets a terrible, terrible precedent.
What do you do on day one if you win? What's your first thing?
What do I do?
Put you in jail.
I close the border. And I do two things, because I can do a lot of things simultaneously. I close the border. We don't want people coming. We want people to come in, Harris, but they have to be vetted. They have to be checked. They have to come in legally. I want people to come into our country, but they have to be vetted. They have to be checked. So when you say, what do I do? That, and I drill, baby, drill. I bring energy way down. I bring interest rates down. I bring inflation way down, so people can buy bacon again, so people can buy a ham sandwich again, so that people can go to a restaurant and afford it. Because right now, people can't buy food. Your grocery bills are up 40, 50, 60%, right? She's agreeing to me. Oh, she's agreeing. Thank you. I like you very much.
Mr. President, I think we are.
But it's true. Your grocery bills are up. And then they're mandating that you buy an all-electric car. You know, Elon Musk endorsed me, and he's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. But I'm against everybody having an electric car, okay? I'm very much against that. You have to be able to, if you want a hybrid or if you want a gasoline-propelled car. But, you know, we have more liquid gold, gasoline, oil, under our feet than any other country, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than any other country. I want to use it. I want to use what we have. I want to bring down prices, bring down costs, and I also have to stop the invasion. And remember, they're taking your jobs. These people coming in are taking your jobs.
Project 2025.
I think we have to leave it there by the Trump team.
All right.
So leave it. That is the last word. Thank you so much, Mr. Trump, for coming today and joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
They've been telling us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, very much. Great
Thank
honor.
you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
NABJ will email about details regarding the conversation with Vice President Kamala Harris in September. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, wow. He shook her hand. I just want to tell you again that you were very rude. Everything about you was rude. I've never had a more rude question.
She got to give him a hug. No hug. Really?
Did he just hit the power to the people? I think that's
He does that all the time.
Yeah,
he does.
no.
He does the fist pump all the time.
Yeah. Man,
I do wish he hit some of the topics harder. Like sometimes his answers are what we've heard a lot. Like he's got answers for stuff that, you know, recycle.
I think also. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I just wish he hit him harder, man, when it comes to some of this stuff. But I mean, Trump is Trump, and you know, I can't expect him to be something else.
Yeah, I mean, even when he was like talking about Ashley Babbitt, you know, he was like, this poor woman shot in the face, but no one died that day. No one died that day. It's like, yo, what?
I think he was saying that mockingly.
Well, no, I think what he was trying to say is that because they were talking about how bad J6 was, right? But he was saying that police shot and killed somebody. And
but there are no police that died that day.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were no no one was killed by.
CNN said 6 people died for like 2 years. 6
That's what
cops
they
died.
said, and then they were like 5 people died, and then they were like 3 people died, and then they were like, we need to bring more awareness to Ashley Babbitt. Like, oh yeah, why is that? Then it's like, oh, she was shot by a Secret Service. Okay, we don't need to bring more awareness to Ashley Babbitt. You know, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was facetiousness. I think it just. I think it was through 2 different lenses. Like, one was through the lens of the Secret Service shooting and killing Ashley Babbitt, and then it was, the protesters didn't kill anyone. They ain't catch no bodies out there. So
Most
yeah,
definitely, man. It's shiesty out here, man. It's shiesty, and it's never gonna stop, you guys. Like, don't matter who gets in. There's going to be chaos. There's going to be disgruntles. There's going to be people who are so emotionally attached to politics.
and
Like,
evil it will exist, and never, doesn't matter what we do,
for sure.
especially with the way that our culture is headed. I mean, there is evil, and just like what was echoed in comments earlier, and you echoed it as well. I think the most likely scenario is going to be that we're not going to be fighting Chinese men on our on our land. We're not going to be fighting Russians on our land. We're not going to be fighting. I think the most likely situation is that we are fighting our brothers and sisters.
They may be from all over the world at this point, but they're here. They are
Yeah,
domestic,
yeah.
and they do have the support of the Democrat side. Like, the Democrats, you cannot deny. Yes, I agree with, like, both sides of the 2 wings of the same bird. I agree with that. However, the Democratic side, to me, just promotes the upside down, like Stranger Things. Like, whatever's constitutional, flip it upside down and promote the opposite. Whatever is about life and liberty, and they promote abortion as if it's like life and liberty, right? You have life and liberty in the pursuit of happiness, which includes killing someone if you need to, right? There's just
if they
this
have boiling water.
I mean, I don't understand how the country rallies behind it. It seems like people who vote on the left side just hate life, or they're totally brainwashed, or they're really misinformed, or they believe the TV, or just something that it blows my mind. Like, it blows my mind.
They're scared of freedom, independence, and liberty, and the fact that you can exercise your liberties with firearms protection. You can believe in, and you can worship Jesus Christ and carry a gun, and that, oh, you sir, if you are a military age male and you are armed and you are defiant to the government, you, sir, are a terrorist. The call was coming from inside the house. Flyingrich out there in chat, definitely not here on the show. Thank you. Appreciate it. $2 super chat. He says, yo, I think that was okay. The end is near. Beware. What's up, brother? I've been trying to send you a $10 super chat, but it won't let me send it. You know what? I would not be surprised if there was.
I just want to test, see if it worked.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Feel free to test that as often as you'd like, my friend. I do like this. The call is coming from inside the house. Like, that is so, like, do y'all remember, like, the first time you heard that horror story?
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that hit
was
me.
Like, creepy. Yeah,
that hit me different. Like, it's like, dude, in the movie Heat, when in the movie Heat, when he's talking to Van Zam or whatever his name is, and he's like, not when he's like, because I'm talking to a dead man on the other end of this line or whatever. When he's talking to him and he's saying, like, I'm coming to get you, and he's like, whatever, like, whatever, like, he's got his guys and whatnot. He looks down at the phone and it says conference room A or something like that, and he's like, like, whoa, he's like right below me. That's the feeling. And you know what? We've talked about it before, where it's like, man, it feels like looking at Ukraine, it feels like it is going to be a situation of, if things do get to that level, it's probably going to be a situation where they're trying.
You mean that work from home dwarf?
What?
The work from home dwarf
No,
running around the green T-shirt.
Zelensky.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, the Mr. Olive Drab. Yeah, no, yeah, I guess him, the dude that was installed by us.
I don't know why he changed out of the black leather and high heels. I thought it was a good look for him.
Yeah, it's weird, when they do that. Hey,
he could
India's
have
near
decided
beware.
to be the first woman president of Ukraine.
He could have. India's near beware. $10 super chat. Dang,
He
he
still
didn't
might
even
be.
say one word. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
He showed his banana mags.
Oh yeah, nice. I got a handful of those as well. That's the message it wouldn't let me send. What's the message?
Ah.
No, it wouldn't let him send the message.
Oh. Maybe try to type it in some
Odd
sneaky way
format
that we
in Lee.
can they want us to rely on them, absolutely, because look, it's all about money, power, and if I wanted to, quote DMX, money, power, respect, but they don't care about respect. It's all about money, power. It's all corruption. It's a game to them. The end is near beware. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. No way that's real. Which one is real? No way what's real?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through chat real quick. Sorry. I think I have an understanding. Stay strong, soldiers of God. I mean, really, what are they going to do? Color heads off and send us to heaven. Yeah, look, I just literally watched my father die 2 weeks ago. And the most powerful thing that I could experience was knowing with certainty that he was granted access into the eternal kingdom of God. And there was not one singular question in my mind of where he went. And honestly, it's because he led a life of bringing people to Christ. And it is definitely shaping me as a person as I grow older. I have a family, I have a daughter. So it's in a way I found more peace with this pain that I've been dealt. You know what I mean? And it's helping, me in my walk with God as well. So, and I know Rich just lost his father-in-law, and it's tough, man. But these kind of situations, they mold you, and they yeah. So Vanessa Kitty, good to see you. Then is everywhere. Was trying to see if any way you could possibly hit me up for a quick call. It's about family and health. Yeah, I can't tonight, but maybe tomorrow, or the day after, or something. If you don't have my number anymore, I can try to message you somehow. It'd be a quick call. Yeah, I not tonight, but probably tomorrow we can chat. And I saw an alert that you had sent me some messages on Instagram, and I apologize for anyone that's been sending me messages on Instagram. I've been completely inactive. If you go look at my Instagram, it just has not moved
Dark's like
for
100
months.
behind in messages for me.
At least the only thing that makes me look like I'm caught up in messages is the fact that I send you links on Instagram, so it looks like I read your stuff, but I didn't. Trust me, I didn't. But no, I appreciate you guys. And anything you want to hit on about the current status before we bounce?
I just like Risky Krisky says, it's going to get worse before it gets worse. You should all be prepared. Something like COVID was a 100-year event that was on nobody's bingo card, so you can't quite plan for what it will be. You just you just got to be prepared as much as possible. Be self-sufficient. Have your shit in order. I don't know what just happened, but I can't talk.
You right?
Yeah, no, I'm all right. Just like all of a sudden it was scratchy.
Was it something I said?
No, it was no. You know me, I'll choke up and I'll well up at any moment.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it was like something in my throat. So
Kamala?
th- oh gosh, I got a joke. You know it, but I don't want to tell it right now.
It'd
Yeah,
probably be
we
wise.
keep your head on a swivel. Keep keep that shit on. You keep I've been just rolling around with what I carry daily. But yeah, I've got to pack my laptop bag with the better stuff
So
and
so
keep
let's go
that
through
with
it
me.
real quick. So what's your typical like civilian loadout? Not like throwing on like all your kit and running out like I know,
Yeah.
but what's your typical civilian like low
So
vis
yeah,
loadout?
typically if I'm local, it's just gonna be my SIG P365 and a 13 round second mag. So I've got 24 Angry Hornets coming at you. The if I think stuff's gonna happen, I'll throw the MP5 in my laptop bag and a bunch of mags, and I'll ride around with that. Actually, RedDawn Readiness saw that last time we met
Mhm.
up.
That shit's
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
That shit's real smooth.
Dude, I will tell you, I brought the MP5 out recently and I ran through so I loaded up so there's 6 mags on the outside. So it's an MP5K with a brace and it's the Turkish MP5 which is honestly the MKE MP5s are excellent. I don't care what anyone says, but those were
Hmm.
imported by Century. I don't care who mailed them to the US. These are pistols,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
Century didn't meddle with them or mess with them. These are excellent MP5s. And on binary, for some reason, I, I I keep getting issues. I think I'm outrunning the trigger. When I get like the perfect cadence, it's just like a drum roll, like waka 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 waka, and it's just perfect. But sometimes maybe I just get a little too excited. I just outrun the trigger. I mean, you've been there when I shot it. I would just say if
Hmm.
anyone out there has an MP5K with a binary trigger, I would just highly encourage you to run it in semi-auto until you know that you can drum roll that thing like Nick Cannon. All right.
For sure.
Yeah. But my apologies. Red Dawn, what's your typical Civi low pro setup?
I mean,
And sorry, real quick, the end is near beware. I'll definitely hit you up, man. I'm sorry to hear that about your father, and I hope he's okay.
absolutely. I don't know. I rotate between bringing the KP9 with me, and I usually have 2 pistols, a bunch of mags. Both pistols take the same mags, so I mean I stay strapped. Sometimes I bring the rifle in the car.
Mhm.
Sometimes I bring the KP9. Extra mags. I always have medical though. Like, don't forget your medical. Always have
Hmm.
medical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
I always
didn't
have
mention that.
tools. Yeah, I always have tools. I always have um water. I carry a shit ton of water with me every day, like at
Mhm.
least a half gallon. Um, and
You've probably gone through a half gallon just on this live stream, bro.
just this. Oh, I went through 2 of these, I think. I pound water, but I'm also in a hot garage right now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's true.
but I like to stay hydrated, I like to keep my piss clear. You want to pre-hydrate for any athletic event, so stay hydrated. So because if you're not hydrated when you begin something um that takes a lot of exertion out of you and sweat, you can cramp
Yep.
up. Um,
Mhm.
so you can't hydrate for the event once the event starts. You need to be hydrated. So that's something for people to keep in mind. When you live in humid climates, you want to drink a lot of water because you're sweating, even at times you don't know how much you're sweating. Um, and I agree with everything Rich said. I mean, it's all downhill from here, y'all. I mean, the book of Revelation is the end, and it doesn't end well until
Yeah.
the Almighty King shows back up. And
Mhm.
you got to be prepared for anything, you got to be prepared to do anything. um but yeah, hopefully you let the Holy Spirit guide you, because that's the ultimate guide in life. It guided the
Mhm.
Israelites out of Egypt, and hopefully it guides us out of the storm that's coming. um So stay prayed up, keep a Bible. At least, I keep a small Bible with me, even when I'm riding, in case I just want to read. I keep them in my bags. I mean, I have one on my phone, but I just don't like it. I prefer paper Bibles. And yeah, man, it's gonna get froggy. Prepare in every way you can. Don't lose your mind. Stay calm. Have faith. Like, don't
And
forget
be
about
happy.
don't forget about the manna from heaven, man. If God wants to
Mhm.
feed you, he says, don't worry about your clothes or anything. He gives you the mind to prepare, so prepare. But I mean, at the end of the day, anything can happen to you at any time. So you have to be good within yourself on where you're going and have faith. Faith is probably your largest prep, because if you don't
Yeah.
have true
Oh
faith,
yeah, yeah.
you're an easily rattled person. You
Yeah.
hang on the words of people and lose your mind very easily. But when
Mhm.
you have a relationship with God, and you've done everything in your own personal life to do everything that you can possibly in your own being, you're comfortable with that. Like, you live with the
Yeah.
results. You do the best you can. You live with the results. And yeah, man, we've all been in the ups and downs. So try not to be
Mhm.
down. Get yourself up.
That is one of the most beautiful things, is that when you are 100% you, when you have 100% like solidarity in your relationship with God and your relationship with Jesus, death no longer has a hold over you, right? Like there's no more fear in that, part of your life. And when you have such a solid foundation, all of a sudden that worldly shit that used to mean so much to you is now stupid and insignificant. So that is a
Yep.
huge piece.
Oh yeah.
Supreme was just saying, I'm going to be building a bag for my truck. What should I throw in there? Definitely a Bible, super important, and I appreciate you bringing that up. And I know all of us, you know, uh, are like thinking like that, but it's I totally would have forgot that. So Red Dawn, great point. When it comes to tools and equipment, I always keep a handgun in my waistband, even if I'm literally laying in bed sleeping. I have a handgun in my waistband. Can't stop, won't stop. And usually at my 43X, and I got 21 rounds in there with the light on it, but also always at all times got the gun beam on there too. And in my bag, I carry a Shadow Systems XR920C, which is basically a 19X with a light and a holosun on it. However, every single day that I go out with it, because now I'm up to like 1,300 and some, almost 1,350 rounds through it. Um, it it bothers me that the gun that's in my waistband and the gun that's in my bag aren't running on the same magazines. I know it's petty, but at the same time, like, if I needed to, but like I don't want to put two spare mags that are different in my bag. So I'm probably going to go to carrying the Gen 545 that my dad had left behind with me, and then that will have magazine and ammo commonality with the Shadow Systems in my bag. Now, usually I'll have the MP5. It looks like a laptop bag. It is not. It looks like a laptop bag, and it's got the MP5K with the brace, and then in the front it has 6 mags, and then inside the bag with the gun has another 20 rounder. I have a second 20 rounder somewhere too, but I don't know where that thing went. And I just need to kind of get a little bit more reps with it. I just thought about. I've never cleaned it ever. Rich, have you cleaned your MP5?
No, somebody else might have.
Did I? No, I didn't clean it. Oh, someone else in the hotel. Woo! Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. Um, but I'll throw the rifle in the car from time to time. Um, man, I'll tell you what. The issue of stealing firearms definitely is it's in my mind, right? But
It does depend where you park your car. Keep that in mind, y'all.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't want
make
to.
sure you got prominent, NRA stickers on your car.
Yeah.
Oh no, no.
Nah.
Here, I'll say this though. You can run, but you can't hide. Right there,
Nice.
that is not a rear sight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That
Nice.
is a tracking device that is in my Geisley Super Duty. And I don't want to talk too much about it because anyone could just wave their phone over it to see if if there's a tracking device in it. But it's good. Look, it's good to
I
have.
didn't know
If you
Geisley made
leave it in a
scope.
hotel room and don't
What's
know where
that?
it is.
I said I didn't know Geisley made scopes.
Yeah, they were doing that for a little bit. I don't think they're doing it anymore. It's a 1 to 6 LPVO, and it is
Nice.
tits, dude. Dude, their
Nice.
mount, it's a contract overrun Schmidt and Bender mount. I don't believe that they made it. I believe they white labeled it, but it is crystal clear. Dude, that thing is half MOA, 0.5 MOA all day.
Very
I'm
nice. Very
I'm at
nice.
100 yards. I'm hitting half an inch. It's insane, dude. There's so when I had originally said, well, whatever, I had the video. I think I posted the video on short or something, but literally like in the center of the target where the X, where all the corners of the X touch in the center, right in there in one of the targets that simulates 100 yards, bro. Incredible. Anyway, that gun is awesome. Also, my father's SIG 716 Tread, which is an AR-10 and 308. While he was at the hospital, he was like, "Hey, when I get out of here, I really want you and I to go out to an outdoor range and stretch the legs on that thing and see how far we can push it out to." And I was like, "Yeah, we definitely will." And then, as you guys know, he passed away. But I threw the Gideon Optics 1 to 10 on that thing, and I talked to Dust with the Tactical Turkeys, and I'm like, I want to take this thing out to 1,000 yards. So we're going to work on that. And I think there's a couple of oh, so I'll throw my rifle in the car sometimes too, whether it's the 14.5-inch Geisley Super Duty or the 10.3-inch Franken
Nah, you throw a
build.
PSA in the car, bro. Leave the Geisley locked in a safe.
Oh, bro,
Fucking
I'll
P-
roll around with that thing all day, man. I honestly, if it like this shit's falling from like 6 feet up here, it's already taking tumbles. And dude, I got that arrow mount, which I think yours broke, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh
That's
shit!
crazy.
You just reminded me. They're gonna give me a credit, and I have to hit them up, and because I have to make an account with the email that I emailed them from. But they're
Really?
gonna give me a credit to their site for it. So
So
they stand behind their shit. But what I did was over torque it. I over torqued it, and I was being lazy at night. My things were going on in the house that were just irritating me, and I wasn't adjusting my torque wrench and taking the time to blue lock. I'm like, wow, it just keeps turning. I'm like, at some point, doesn't this ring just like have a diameter that's not gonna like, I don't know. I figured
yeah.
it would stop. Like once you link something in, it should just stop at a certain diameter, but I don't know. I over torqued it. So
I mean, maybe I didn't use a torque wrench on that thing, like
mhm.
when it says inch pounds, I'm like, I'm just I'm gonna crank it down
Yeah.
until it is, and I use blue Loctite on the scope, and it look if it snaps and it breaks, whatever. I got um see, the other one is the 34 millimeter. That's a 30 millimeter, and it sucks because that is such a dope. The Geisley rail is such a dope rail or mount rather,
I was
but
gonna
I
say you
can't.
got to get a Geisley mount for that thing.
I know I got an arrow mount in it because I ordered the 30 millimeter scope, and
Oh, you
there
ordered
was
the wrong
a
mount.
yeah, I ordered a 34 millimeter mount,
I found
and
something you might like. I'll send it on over to you.
yeah, I just don't want to spend any more money. I got so much money in that raffle. A dang old raffle, I'll tell you what. And no,
Yeah.
so that tracker that's in there is just for me while civilization is still intact. So when I'm like going from point A to point B, it's not for anything like anyone. Hey, Rusty Shackelford, bro, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I don't want people to like get confused like that's like a prepping thing. That I have no intention of having any electricity, any Wi-Fi, any Bluetooth, anything, any comms at all, aside from the comms that I've set up if the lights go off. It's literally just for like while it's for before the proverbial shit hits the expedient rotational device, you know? So I'm not using it as anything other than and honestly, if if shit pops off, I'm not gonna be rolling around with a Bluetooth device in my rifle. It's just because I'm rolling around with a $2,800 rifle that I put a air tag on that thing just for like traveling and shit.
That is true, BV Luminous. And if you set the torque for like 60 inch pounds when it should be 20, you're gonna way over torque the shit out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I got an old school torque wrench that doesn't show in inch pounds. I got one of my family members has one of the digital ones that you can actually set
I
and
have the one that you turn the bottom and it has a little gauge on it. It's cheap, but it works. It works
yeah,
well.
I should probably get something a little bit better. But I mean, honestly, dude, for so long I was literally building guns in my lap, like on the sofa, and they work just fine.
For
But
sure.
I do like slide bite. What's up, brother? Good to see you.
The hardest piece for me is the freaking detents. Those
Really?
ones. Yeah, like the one that goes in the back with the
Oh,
plate.
bro.
You gotta
You
Oh,
want
you
to
have
you want to know
uh,
what the trick is? You want
yeah,
to know what the trick is? The trick
for sure.
is a razor blade.
That makes sense.
see,
So
I
you could
was
just
using a
slide it
credit
out
card or hotel room key,
Oh,
and
it's
it's
and then
way
way too
too.
Dark's like
quick.
razor blade. I'm like, hmm.
It's you
Yeah.
slip and fucking slice your hand.
Yes. Don't slip.
Dark uses a razor blade for everything. I wonder where you got so skilled at that.
Dark
You know,
mastered like keeping it under the tongue and shit.
yeah, I got one right
He's
now.
even PWEDC'd a few of them.
I'm just kidding. There may have been a viewer that carried a razor blade in a cigar tube in his god pocket. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, look, if you guys are okay, so sorry, the one viewer asked about his sack. What should you put in your sack? Well, first off, provided that you know what, screw the laws. Always carry a gun. And also don't put yourself in a position where you're gonna sacrifice your freedom, especially if you
Well,
have a
always
family.
carry a gun on body too. On body
On body.
carry always. If you want to carry a second one, cool. Extra mags, medical, a couple tools, multi-tool, a screwdriver. Make sure you
Yep.
have a screwdriver with you, whether it's on your multi-tool or whatever.
Hmm.
Some type of boo-boo stuff too. Like, I mean, you can take a Ziploc and have a couple band-aids in there just in case.
Yeah.
I'd say some type of electrolyte powder, because if you got a water bottle and whatever else, you might as well.
Oh,
It takes up
which
no
ones do you
space.
use?
I mean, I have like probably 6 different ones right now, but I pretty much, because of the size of the packet and stuff, you throw the
Liquid
liquid
IV.
IV. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I got. Liquid IV.
yeah.
Oh, bro, you know what I got? It was like $1.69. Hold up, dude. And
The
I have none. I had none of these in my kit prior.
Oh, I keep liquid IV in all of my loadouts everywhere. I keep liquid IV. Oh yeah, the butterfly ones, those just never work for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'd
There's the
rather
ones
take a.
that like you peel and it
They
pulls
never.
it together.
They've
Yeah,
never worked for me.
so it depends on the area. So first off, you have to completely clean the area with alcohol. If
Yeah,
there's any oil on your skin, the adhesive will not work.
for sure. I'm
Um,
Italian, so I'm oily and I'm hairy.
bro, me too. So apparently there's like a thing they call them shedders when they shed DNA, and I shed like I'm oily, I'm hairy, I drop skin and hair and shit all over the place. I could never commit
Yeah.
a crime. Yeah, I'm
I
gonna get
think they
caught
say like 70% of the dust that collects in your house is old skin.
for sure. Yeah, and dead bugs.
Right?
The other thing, so medical, like I like looking at medical a little differently. First off, always have the core items, right? But I like adding items to IFACs. So if you
For
get an
sure.
IFAC, get an IFAC set up with the main stuff, and then I like to add things like steri strips. The butterfly strips are great. Stereo strips are better in my opinion, but I like putting both. Oh, I will be putting both in there now. The Skinafix. I think I sent somebody a Skinafix. Tech
Bro,
Money, what's up, brother?
are you talking about the liquid one?
Yeah, it's liquid
Like
skin
liquid
basically.
Band-Aid? Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That shit is always in my bag and in my kit. I mean,
Did
it
you
could be
know
anywhere that you
you got to
get.
keep it out of UV light?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like leave it in the sun ever. It's either in
Like
a bag or
even ambient light from the window. When I was reading through it, and I saw it was like keep away from ambient light because it cures the stuff. But dude, my daughter, she busted open her chin and it like split open and she had like a flap. And we went in and the nurse was like, "Don't worry, like we got this." She was really
Mhm.
great with my daughter. But then she took this thing, she opened it up, she took it, cracked it like a Kim light, and ayo, Kim light, and then started like putting it on like lipstick on her chin. I was like, "Yo, what's that?" And I was like so intrigued. She was like,
Right?
"Oh, it's Skinafix. It's liquid." So it's like so the originally super glue was supposed to be made for that, and then it ended up being patented for different applications.
Mhm.
I think the first patent was for bonding skin. I think it was like a liquid bandage kind of thing. But Skinafix is safer than using.
The problem with using super glue is that it dries out and then it starts to crack and flake and it'll mess with the healing of the wound.
Yeah.
Um, Liquid Band-Aid kind of like creates a thing where it won't just dry out on you. It'll fall off by the time it dries out. Whereas like with super glue, you'll have pieces that are flaking off and you'll want to peel them and they'll have like this like alligator skin after a little bit of it's like hardened and pieces are flapped up and
Mhm.
I mean it works if all you have is super glue, put that shit on there until you can get something better. But
Dude, the
um
magical thing, I want to add this real quick. The magical thing is sutureless stitches.
oh
This
yeah.
is something that the gray bearded green beret did. It did an excellent video, and we've showcased it like several times on live stream. I've never done like a hard video for it, but basically like if you think of like if you're out in the field and someone gets like a gash down their arm, first off that could get infected and like someone could literally die without access to antibiotics. So always have antibiotics. Two, always have antibiotic ointment. Like Red Dawn said before, your house better be like a pharmacy. Like you better
Mhm.
have everything all over the place. Dude, I got like honestly probably
The
like
best place to
a
be if shit hit the fan would be in the middle of fucking Walgreens or CVS.
yeah,
Best
for
place you could
sure.
be.
Yeah, absolutely. And because everything is free, right? Uh, the Xenos. Hold on, I may have missed something. Staple gun from the feed shop. Woo, boy.
Yeah, I'm about that life.
Yeah, get some lidocaine, dog, because that's gonna be rough. Um,
Pain is a beautiful experience. It means you're
it,
still
it's
alive.
yeah, it's character building, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But anyway, the thing about a gash like that on your arm, first off, if you're running and gunning and you're getting gunpowder and fouling and flecks of metal and it's just open
Yeah.
to all sorts of bad stuff, you can get blood poisoning, and I mean, a cut on your arm could mean death if things get
You know what wouldn't be a bad idea is the bottles that have like the really thin neck where you can like squirt water. And
hmm
if you carry, just leave some salt in it, leave it empty, add water, shake salt water, wash it
yep,
out real quick with one of those.
that is
Um,
literally the first step.
yeah.
To like doing the sutureless stitches, get like about 32 ounces of water. If you do have salt, that's perfect. You can make a saline solution,
Mhm.
and either with fresh water or saline water, salt water, literally pull it up from an elevated position and flush it out with at least 32 ounces, direct pour like a foot, depending on the wound, right? You don't want to like cause more tissue damage. Basically, irrigate the wound, completely wash it out as much as you can. I know that that would suck if you're like dying of thirst and you're sitting here flushing a wound out with 32 ounces. So do your best, okay? Make good decisions. And then you can take 2 strips of duct tape, take some very thin, like maybe Kevlar twine or some kind of very thin twine, and fold each piece of tape around it halfway, right? So you have 2 pieces of tape with 2 pieces of like very thin Kevlar twine in it, and then put them over the wound, right? With the wound in the middle and the 2 pieces of twine outside of the wound. And then
And
you
then
take your
stitch that.
needle, yep, and then your
Yeah.
thread, and then you stitch it through, but you don't stitch the skin. You stitch from duct tape to duct tape, then pull it,
Yeah.
pull it tight as you go
I
through.
I
That pulls
sliced
the
my
wound closed.
hand right down here in this web when I was freaking with my K bar. I was tying a thing and sliced right here. And I
Mm,
had to keep my hand like so instead of doing stitches, I just kept my hand closed like this, taped it all up, gauze,
mm,
ointment. And at first, what I did was roll a piece of gauze into like also having the thin gauze is awesome, like the ones that come in cheap boo-boo kits, and it's like a really thin, small amount of gauze. It's not the thick gauze that you would get with a lot of stuff, but I rolled it into a ball and then kept it in between here and then
yeah,
closed with ointment. And then I kept everything taped and closed for probably about a week. And you can't even see it, but you got to keep that shit closed. You can't leave it wide open. I mean, it'll just
yeah,
take long. You can. It's not going to hurt you. You'll have a bigger scar and it'll take longer to heal. But as
yeah,
long as you keep it clean and covered, those are the golden rules. Keep it clean, keep it covered, and you'll be fine.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, man.
those are solid, bro. Them stitches.
Yeah,
My only biggest fear is that the tape don't stay. Like you need to make sure that shit is sticky icky if you're gonna
yeah, yeah.
be. Because how
Uh,
miserable would it be to be halfway through your shit and the whole fucking tape
you see
comes
my
off?
arms? You see how hairy my freaking arms are, dude? This shit's gonna be
Yeah.
ripping hair out, man. It's gonna be brutal. I would almost like want to use duct tape to wax my arm first, and then, but it's there's
Carry a
ways you
bic,
can kind of
a
reinforce it.
bic with you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if the worst case scenario is that because you could never use Skinifix on something of that size, right? That's really for like smaller, cuts
Mhm.
and things like that. Um, if you had a wound like a large open wound on your arm, if you at least irrigate it, if you use ointment and you keep it covered up and you keep it, from bleeding, and you're going to have to move, you're going to have to operate, you're going to have to chop wood, you're going to have to kill and skin, food, all the stuff that you're going to have to do. Just keep it clean and keep, like you said, keep your shit tight, and keep it clean.
Mhm.
Yeah. People have gotten infections from shitty tap water. Absolutely, man, for sure. Especially when all of our water is filled with aluminum runoff and lithium and all the nasty shit that it is. All right, I know we're pushing 2 a.m. here, so let's go ahead and wrap up, gentlemen. First off, I so appreciate all you gentlemen coming on the show, or both of you gentlemen coming on the show. Take a moment before we close out of here to remind everyone who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
I'm a person.
Who
I
goes
do
first?
things. Check out your boy RedDawn if you know where to find me. If you don't know where to find me, figure it out.
Costco gas pumps.
It's too late to give you guys directives.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see your ability to solve the issues.
Richie Rich.
So yeah, flyingrich.com, best place to find me, or any of my YouTube channels, Flying Rich or Flying Rich Firearms, all one word each of them. And if you want to see some of my thoughts, Instagram, FlyingRich_official. But
And
all
did
of
you
that is
know?
linked,
Sorry, go ahead.
and all of that's linked at flyingrich.com. So just go there.
Nice. I gotta check that out.
And did you know that very soon here, if you are following Definition Knives on Instagram, you guys will be seeing. Don't you pull
Not Black
anything?
Swan axes, Definition
Not-
knives.
No, what you're looking for is something like
Can't show it. Can't show it.
I'm not showing anything.
You can't show it.
It's not even one of our knives.
Just the tip.
If you're following Definition Knives on
On the grams?
Instagram, then this is a Cricut MK21. Actually, they don't make this anymore, and this was my father's knife. This is super cool, man. It feels really good to have stuff from him, especially items that I could use for carry, because it's like I'm rolling with the armor of my father, who had a huge impact on me, committing my life to Christ. So it's it's cool. It's like I got the armor of my father and the armor of God, and it's awesome. So yes, Definition Knives is a company you guys all know about. DLD Hardware. DLD Hardware is a company that I run. That is how I can literally afford to do this and do the things that I do, is through DLD Hardware. I thank you to Drew in Oregon. I was able to add finally those, and thank you to RedDawn actually as well. I was able to add those Ambi Rainier Arms magazine releases to DLD Hardware under parts, and they're like $79 or $69 depending on the generation that you want. Well, they're up there for $39 because people like Drew are so giving and gracious. So for you, my guy, I appreciate that. And for RedDawn for being like, yo, put that shit on your website, bro. So thank you, because he was out there preaching the word of DLD Hardware too. So thank you. Lastly, we've seen that YouTube is never going to do anything for us, right? Like it's the only way for us to be able to do what we want to and have the positive impact that we can is by having businesses in addition to our YouTube channels. So another company that Rich and I are starting is called Definition Knives, and we have launched a knife company. Nothing is out and visible yet. We are literally a week, maybe 2 away from launching our first knives. There's going to be 5 knives that are launching first. So if you go to Instagram, type in Definition Knives all together, you guys are going to be blown away once you see the first set of 5 knives come out. We're going to release them one at a time, and when they become available, you're going to be hearing about them all over the internet, all over YouTube, from your favorite content creators. And you guys are going to be pumped. These are extremely high quality knives that some companies charge $200 to $300 for. Every single knife that we have currently is under $100. Most of them are going to be $59 to $79 in that ballpark. So great EDC knives. Literally, the focus of this company is going to be like the definition of great value EDC knives. So that's why we are what we are. So check them out. But
dope.
hell yeah, I'm pumped. RedDawn is getting one too. You know what I'm saying? Peace out, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Make sure you do follow Flyingrich and Flyingrich Firearms. Make sure you follow RedDawn Republic and RedDawn Readiness. RedDawn Readiness is his main channel, but y'all already know that YouTube, they've already they
I
already
might
don't
be
like
having
it.
to scrap RedDawn Republic and do it all over again.
I'll show you how to do it without connecting it to your other channel, because otherwise they'll know and they'll
Gotcha.
they'll cause problems for you.
10-4.
Anyway, guys, look, right now we are like our culture is being attacked, and our country is under attack. We're in a really a terrible place, but I'm going to encourage all of you guys to stay positive. It is the most important time to get right with your family and to get right with God. And we, as men, especially as leaders within our community, leaders within our family, we need to make sure that we fight for what is right, that we fight for what's righteous. And I encourage all of you guys to do so. And the only way for us to make sure that we're holding ourselves accountable is if you have your own rules, standards, expectations for yourself. And some of the rules that I like to share with you guys at the end of every single live stream are as follows. Rule number 1 is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed because the hand that's open to give is open to receive. And rule number 3, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. Make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Thank you, fellas, Flyingrich and RedDawn, for coming on. And all of you guys in the chat, all of you channel members, you guys are the ones that are keeping this going. Thank you so much. You can support the channel by DLD Hardware, and go on Instagram, go to DLD, or go to Instagram and look up Definition Knives. Follow Definition Knives, and you'll see when we drop the knives. Oh, last thing before I close out, real quick. I remembered I wanted to do something crazy. What I was going to do is I'm going to send a firearm to Liberty Bell Firearms. He's a crazy good Cerakoter, and he is going to do a project without me even knowing what it is. And you guys are going to be able to tell him what you want done. Whatever crazy idea, if you want a crazy cocaine-fueled Caltech Florida theme on
I
a
told him
Glock.
dick butts.
Did you really? Bastard. I knew you would do some shit like that.
Bro, God's plaid every time.
Oh, I like that. M81, right?
Of course.
Okay, all right. I didn't know. I just had to check. You guys get to, if you hit up Liberty Bell Firearms on Instagram and be like, yo, I was listening to DLD. I have an idea. I want you to do the dumpster Glock. Or honestly, my idea was to do the Bakelite frame, and then have him laser like cracks in it and stuff like that. Do like the triangle 11 or circle 10 or something like that, or triangle 12, whatever it is, the Tula symbol, and then do the top, the slide, like laser, like rivets, make it all like rusty and beat up like an AK. It would literally look like an aged, battle worn AK Glock with a few magazines and a knife or something like that. That was my idea. But any of you guys, oh, thank you, Rich. You're the man. Any of you guys, if you click that link that Flyingrich Firearms just dropped, send him, first off, follow him, show him some love, send him a DM and just be like, yo, here's my idea. I want you to do dick camouflage, or I want you to do, whatever. Any idea that you want, you submit it to him. I'm going to send him the gun. He's going to do it and send it to me. And my first time opening it, if it's your submission, you'll know. I'm going to be sharing that all with you guys. So I know it's crazy, it's ridiculous, but that's kind of what I'm going for. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Do y'all have any ideas you want to submit? Anything at all you can think of?
I don't know. I like Battle Worn M81 Woodland. I think it'd be sick to have exactly what that sign is. Like I don't know if he just does Cerakote, but like
he does laser too.
Oh, so laser with the M81 Woodland with the laser color fill of the blue DLD After Dark somewhere on it. That would be hard. Maybe on the top of the slide or something.
So I thought about it and I was like, man, I got so many like blue guns and blue battle worn guns. And I was like, I wanna switch it up and do something else, something kind of stupid. Like, even if it was like, really, I want a dumpster Glock, which is like trash with like boogers with hair on it and like shit with corn in it. But a Glock, even though that sounds hilarious, a Glock is such a small surface, right? Like, that's something you'd have to do on like a shotgun or an AR, or like a Mad Max Glock. Like, I don't even know like how you would do, like, just make it look like trash and wrap it up in ace bandage or something. I don't know. Yeah, but whatever ideas you guys have, make sure you hit up Liberty Bell Firearms. He also is going to make Code Dark, and Code Dark gives you 20% off of all Cerakote work, all laser work with no minimums, which is awesome. So that's for you guys.
Dope stuff.
Anyway,
I need to get something done.
Dude, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to him.
I want a Boba Fett themed firearm. That's
that
like
would be
my
dope.
favorite shit, with the red, the yellow, the green.
Dude,
I like the look of, and then the battle worn. It's just like that red, yellow, green with all the battle worn shit. It's dope.
Don't you are you thinking Glock or what are you thinking?
I don't know.
So here's what I'll just add this real quick. Yes, Rich, but I don't think I'm going to. I think it's if you look at the Strike Industries spiral fluted barrel, so I want to show you this real quick. Let me close this ish.
I sent you something too. Did you get my text?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, that's dope. I like it. The light is done too.
Yeah, the light's done. The red dot is done, but I switched it to another gun and I put the holosyn on this. But check out how the Strike Industries spiral fluted barrel looks Cerakoted. Doesn't that totally have like a Boba Fett theme?
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
You know, it's got that like it just
With
man,
the
that little
logo there.
Twizzler, you know, it just
it's hard,
in
bro.
in person it just looks like, you know, it just looks
Send
like
it to me.
that.
I'll send it back after a couple months.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, they're like $200. Isn't that crazy? For a barrel. All right.
Wild.
We're out of here. Sorry. Good night, everyone that came through. You guys are awesome. And I would like for Christmas a SAG 927 capacity, no safety. I don't know what that is. Oh, probably a SIG 9mm with a 27 round capacity. What SIG in 9mm? Because even the SIG TAC Ops 226 has 20 plus 1, which is a dope. I want the SIG Elite 226. That thing is dead sexy. Anyway, we're out of here. Love y'all. Bye.